Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're listening to this episode. And welcome to ReelTok episode 147. You got myself, Mr. George Carmi. You got the beautiful Mr. Cam Walsh, 27, and the very sexy Mr. Tyler C. Whitmore. We got a great episode for you guys today. So much big news has dropped over the last week. Which I am very excited to talk about, and I'm sure Cam and Tyler is as well. We also got a couple of movie reviews. We will be talking about the latest Joe Kosinski film F1, and we'll also be discussing Megan 2.0. And then, we'll also briefly talk about The Bear Season 4. I know myself and Tyler did not finish it. Cam, I don't know if you have finished it, but either way, we will all give like a very quick spoiler-free thought up to the point that we are at in the show. Cam, you could talk a little bit of Ironheart if you'd like. But as always, shout out our executive producers, Mr. Stefan Niebrick, Stefan Johnson, Cody Whitney, and Cole Beaver. Shout out you guys, and shout out to all of our patrons for keeping that community alive and well. But let's just get into it because, I want to get through these movie reviews and talk about some fucking insane news. Tyler, how you doing, man?
Man, I feel like I've been the one to start it off the past like 3-4 episodes. I'm always taken off guard to be the one to kick us off. But it's been a good week. People who follow me on Twitter and Instagram saw we made a big investment. We are now pool owners. So I didn't want to flex on everyone with those pictures, but when you get such a beautiful pool, it's hard to not. No, that was sincerely like the best, like $59.99.
That's got to be perfect. Yeah, that's got to be perfect for like just 110, just to go sit in there, not even like just to vibe.
Yeah, because we like laying out in the sun and soaking up the sun, but when it's like 110 degrees, like you're just way too hot after like 10 minutes. But it's almost dangerous with the pool because like we'll lay in there for like an hour and we're like, shit, it's been an hour. We should probably go inside because we probably are getting like roasted by the sun right now. But yeah, I don't know. Riley bought it off Amazon. I don't know how much it was. I know it was under $100 for sure, but I think it was like $60, $70. We've used it like 5 days now already. So we're like with dogs and with just being like an inflatable pool with a backyard we don't maintain super closely. We're like, it's probably inevitably going to pop eventually, but we've already gotten 5 uses out of it. It was $70. So we're almost already at the point where we're playing with house money. Like if we use it like 20 times and it pops and it's like, $3 per use, pretty useful, but we're just gonna keep riding it out as far as it can go.
Are the dogs jumping in it?
No, they're afraid of it, which is good. Like we don't want them like that. And I imagine that would just be game over immediately.
Yeah.
But no, it's been nice. We've been using it pretty much every day. I didn't use it yesterday. I was like, I'm gonna give my skin a day off from the roasting Arizona sun. But it's been a great way to beat the Arizona heat. Other than that, haven't done whole lot this week. Just been watching stuff, been working. This upcoming week is 4th of July week, and is really so my work has what's called a 980 schedule, which is pretty common in corporate America. But if you're not familiar with that terminology, it means you work 9 days every pay period, which is 2 weeks for 80 hours. So normally people, you work a 40-hour work week, do that 5 days a week for 2 weeks. 980 means you're doing 9 days instead. So it means you work Monday through Friday the first week and then Monday through Thursday the next week. And Friday this week is the 4th of July, which is a holiday in America. But that's like my off Friday. So we don't even get like an extra day or anything off. It was like an already off day. So I was lame. I'm taking Thursday off anyways, like without any PTO. I'm just like, you're not giving me a holiday. I'm taking one myself. So I'm taking a long weekend this weekend. So it's only a 3-day work week for me. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a nice long weekend. I think we're going to hang out with some friends, go swimming this upcoming weekend. So that'll be fun. But yeah, other than that, just been watching. Let's look at my diary here. So I watched The Accountant 2, which a lot of people liked. And I can see why. For me, it was just like very average, very run of the mill. And I wasn't kidding in my Letterboxd review, and I said like I wanted there to be more accounting in this movie because the scene of him and Anna Kendrick in the first movie, where they just like cover an entire conference room walls and like bookkeeping and accounting and just like tracking. I was like, this is kind of like an electric scene. And then it turns into like SEAL Team 6, the movie. And the whole second movie is like that. But the bromance between Ben Affleck and John Bernthal is really fun. It is crazy how typecast John Bernthal is, I feel like, at this point in his career, where it's like he's the guy in every spy, because he was in The Amateur this year with Rami Malek, where he was the same
Was
thing.
he actually in that?
Yeah, he's the same exact character where he's like another SEAL Team 6 like sleeper cell agent. I saw someone doing like a fan casting for James Bond. They're like, you know who should be like the sidekick, like military guy, should be John Bernthal. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Because anytime anyone in Hollywood has a movie where they see like a military dude, they just call John Bernthal up. And obviously he's in season 4 of The Bear, but he has like the same exact character in The Accountant too, except like a badass. But he's like the same, like just looking for connection with his brother, familial bonds, except instead of, Carmi, it's Ben Affleck. But yeah, it was fine. If you like the first one, I think you like the second one. I personally really liked the first Accountant, but I had really no interest in seeing a sequel, but I still gave it a chance anyways, because on Prime Video, I think is where I watched it. But yeah, it was a fine watch. Too long though. And then I watched The Man Who Knew Too Much, which is a Hitchcock film on Netflix right now. And I don't know, and this is exclusive to Netflix US. I know the UK has different titles, but lately on Netflix, I've been seeing a ton of Hitchcock movies. Like they have probably licensing to at least a dozen of them right now. So if you haven't seen a ton of Hitchcock or you want to rewatch them, I know I just rewatched Rear Window on Netflix. Netflix has quite the Hitchcock library right now. But I love James Stewart, and he's great in this as well. I feel like this is like what an Alfred Hitchcock Bond movie would look like. And then I watched that same night Nightfall, which is a noir film from 1956, starring Aldo Ray. I've not seen any movies with him, but I want to dive into more of his filmography because I really liked him in this lead role. I was basically just looking for movies under like 90 minutes on Amazon Prime, or just any service I didn't have to pay for anything because it was like late at night. And I just saw this. I was like, you know what? We could dive into some noir, because I feel like noir and westerns are the two 20th century genres that I just really haven't done enough of. But I actually really like this movie. It's like 75 minutes long, 78 minutes long. So it's super quick, and it uses flashbacks in a really cool way. And really exciting, fun mystery. So I think this is a good noir to dip your toe in if you want to start kind of getting into the genre. Then beyond that, watched F1 last night. I was going to watch Megan 2, but I'm just like morally opposed to seeing that movie in theaters. And, our good old buddy, our favorite website, it didn't come through this week. There was no like Serbian or Croatian screening where some man snuck in his iPhone, Danny Boyle style, and filmed the screen. So no Megan 2 for me, but I have been watching The Bear season 4, like George alluded to. Is there 10 episodes in the season? So I'm not quite halfway through yet. I think season 5 or episode 5 is my next episode. And then I'm one episode into the finale of Squid Game season 3. And even though I feel like that
you're watching that?
Yeah. I feel like that show fell way out of favor with the public, yet not enough to not avoid spoilers. I saw obviously everything like day one on Twitter. Got everything spoiled.
I haven't seen anything about it. I didn't think people were watching it.
I didn't think anyone was watching.
It fell out of favor with me.
Did you guys? You guys didn't get the final cameo spoiled?
No. Was it the American? Was it David Fincher and he was writing the
spoilers? Spoilers right now. So if you want to skip ahead and miss these Squid Game spoilers, skip ahead. So yeah, the end is Kate Blanchett playing like the game where you throw the thing on the ground, and like that's probably going to lead into the like I think Kate, which makes sense. She's been in several David Fincher films, but yeah, Kate Blanchett is in the final of Squid Game, and it's
so. Is the Squid Game's American a sequel?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Is it like season 4?
Squid Game.
I assumed it was
the
like
American Squid Game has been a thing that was announced so long ago, and I think everyone kind of refused to believe it's actually real until the end of this season. Plus, like there was a news this week saying like December this year, I think they're going to start filming it. So I assume Kate Blanchett is going to be leading that charge. So this is the consequences of giving Michelle Yeoh the Oscar. We got Kate Blanchett in Squid Game remake.
Is it going to be? I think I saw earlier that it was going to be a series. For some reason, I thought it was going to be a movie.
No, I would rather have a movie because I feel like that just ties up less time for like Fincher and folk. But no, it's a series. And
David Fincher like re-signed for 3 more years with
Netflix. Yeah,
Netflix, and that's like 50
Gross.
9/11s.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
Netflix needs
hopefully
to
it's just
release-
like Twice Upon a Time in Hollywood and Squid Game, because hopefully that just takes 3 years and then he's free to do whatever. But I mean, I'm not a huge Fincher head.
Twice Upon a Time. I can't believe the amounts of wash this man is in right now. What happened to the guy?
Bro, did you just pull that off the dome? Twice Upon a Time?
No,
in
Tyler
Hollywood?
said it. Tyler said
Yeah,
it.
no, I know.
Oh,
That was crazy.
I think he said it before.
I probably said it before. I don't know. I say a lot of stupid things, but
That
no,
was so
I mean, I've
funny.
always been vocal that like I think David Fincher is like a fine director, but I love his Social Network. So I know a lot of people are
I
upset
mean-
he's stuck with Netflix. I could kind of care less, like whatever.
I mean, like 7, Social Network. I like Gone Girl, Zodiac. Yeah, Fight Club's fine. The Killer's really good. So I guess like he made a good movie recently.
he makes good movies, but he never makes movies where I'm like fired up, like yeah, hell yeah, the David Fincher film. Is
You know what
coming.
movie's just fine? The Game. People love
Yeah.
The Game. I don't.
He's
like The Game
he's
as
also
much as them.
capable of making movies like Mank, which are just not good.
Hey, Mank has his side. Mank has his
Yeah,
side.
Sophie's big Mank fan. Isn't she?
Mank does have a cult.
But yeah, that's really all I've been watching. Trying to think if there's been anything else notable. Not really. So not that exciting a week, but getting more and more excited for our New York City trip. So still need to get a suit for it. But
I texted y'all like in the group chat, like 26 days or something. And
No
I meant
one
to
responded.
No, not even that. I honestly wasn't looking for a response. I meant to text every single day up until haven't since that day. So I'm gonna go do that right now. 'Cause
What's today? Today's 21
I don't
for you
know.
guys?
21
How
probably,
many
because the 20th is
days
when we get there. Is the 29th when I'm recording this.
21 days.
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
Lock it.
Looking
lock
forward to
it
that.
in.
I think Seth and I will be Ubering together back from. I got to figure out, because I guess Cam, like you've done Airbnbs, I think more recently than me when you came to Arizona. But do I have to be there before you're allowed to go in there?
I don't think so. I think as long as like if you give me the
like the code or
yeah,
whatever. like, yeah.
contact or the code, I think you're fine.
But regardless, I don't think I
I
get there
don't-
with Seth until like 4:30 anyways. I'm guessing check-in's not till like 3-ish anyways. So it's not like
Yeah.
there'll be a whole lot of time where. So
I think if you remember, you dropped me off at that Airbnb and we were like 2 hours early. So we basically sat out there in Arizona for like 2 hours or like an hour. We ended up getting a hold of the person. But
Mhm.
I think what it is you have to ask for the code and then basically like send it to us. Like,
Got it.
because we needed the guy who set up the Airbnb when I was in Arizona to get the code from the person, which they sent it to him. He was
Mhm.
just on a plane. Like it was bad timing while everyone else had already gotten there. So that may
Cam, where
happen
did you
again.
go for your honeymoon?
I went to Cancun. Cabo.
Nice.
I went to Cabo. Have I ever told you the Cabo story?
I don't think so.
No.
I went to Cabo for my honeymoon. Wonderful time. Get to the hotel, and you need to show your passport as form of ID because they don't really give a shit, obviously, about an American driver's license. Didn't have my passport. Couldn't find it anywhere. Lost it when I got to Cabo. So I'm at this. Luckily, Emma had uploaded our passports to the hotel website before, so I was still able to like check in with like they saw my face and the passport, so it was fine. So we were able to get that. But I'm freaking out because I don't have my passport. Not going to be able to get back into the U.S. This is 2021, so COVID's not like huge anymore, obviously, but it's still like in the air a little bit. People are still worried about it. So every U.S. embassy except the one in Tijuana was like closed. So I was about to have to like rent a car or Uber to Tijuana in order to get it. But we're like freaking out. Basically, we were there like 2.5, 3 days. We had like it was an all-inclusive resort. So the hotel staff was very nice. Basically we had the hotel clerk or manager, I don't know his official title, like he was talking to the airport frequently, and the airport, someone turned my passport into the airport, and it was in like lost and found, and I went to customs and had to go. I don't speak a ton of Spanish, and so the lost and found like customs area is in the domestic flights area of this airport. So obviously not many people there speaking English. I'm just kind of guessing where I'm going. Eventually I find my way. Basically, just say passport. They hand me one. No questions asked. I walked out and looked at the picture. It was me. So got lucky there. Yeah, super lucky. But Emma and I were like freaking out for the first like 3 days of our honeymoon. It could have been a very honestly marriage could have ended about a week in. She was not very happy about this one because kind of ruined first couple days of the honeymoon. My parents were like, my dad was like booking flights to San Diego and was gonna like drive across the border and try to like smuggle me back in.
calling Benicio del Toro to go find you and bring you home.
Yeah, I started work June 1st, 2021. First job out of college. I got married July 10th, so about a month and less than a half into my tenure. I'm taking 2 weeks off basically because I took a week off for the wedding, a week off for the honeymoon. I'm texting my like manager. Like I don't even have like an official role yet. I'm still in like onboarding. Like I'm texting my manager. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna get back into the country. Like I'm freaking out right now. Yeah, so not by any means my most shining moment. But somehow, by the grace of God, shout out whoever turned in my passport. That's like far and away the biggest, like the most insane thing. I feel like someone would have stolen that shit, but or it would have get knocked into a trash or something. I don't know, but yeah, it just found the passport, which was huge. So that was very much needed. So yeah, I went to Cabo.
George, are you going straight after your wedding to a honeymoon, or are you taking a gap?
Like yes and no. We're doing like a mini moon right after our honeymoon. So we're gonna do Mexico for like 4 or 5 days because we want to do our honeymoon in Australia. So we're gonna wait to do that till January to also hit the Australian Open. So it's like a yes and no kind of thing. Immediately after, yes, but like it's not technically our honeymoon.
So it's 2 honeymoons.
2 honeymoons.
I feel like the first one. Yeah. Still 4 or 5 days is still a good time. Where are you going? Did you say
Mexico? I don't know where exactly.
Exact address and time you'll arrive and passport ID. Yeah. So don't lose the.
Don't lose your passport at the airport, George.
Yeah, I actually just got my passport renewed. So
nice.
I did recently too, and people were all like, "Oh, do it like months and months before." And I didn't even go in person. I just sent it in via mail. I don't know if anyone listening knows you can do that. You can just mail in your passport to the government. They just mail it back updated.
That's exactly.
It was like shockingly. It was like literally 5 days. Like I went to my mailbox. I'm like, "What the hell?"
It was absolutely.
Sorry. Finish.
No, you go because maybe what I was going to say explains what you want to ask.
Well, can someone explain Real ID to me? Because do I need one of those to fly to New York?
Yeah, I think you need a Real ID now to fly
anywhere.
Yeah, it used to be
what's
domestic.
The difference between my Real ID that was given to me by the government, like my driver's license and my passport? Like, I need to get a second ID?
No, a Real ID is just like the type of like driver's license.
You very likely probably already have.
Yeah,
because it's been a thing for like 10 years.
Yeah,
so you got a new license.
Okay, cool.
But don't take our words for it. Make sure you look.
Yeah, like I'm seeing all these Real ID things, and I'm like, my Real ID is my ID.
It's usually like a little brown.
I'm 25 years old. I don't have a fake anymore.
If you look at your driver's license, and I think it's either like there's like a star on the top right corner. That's real. Like that's what makes it the Real ID. Yeah, it's stupid, but it's been around for a thing. Your driver's license is more than likely a Real ID.
I'm going to look.
Yeah, don't just
Sorry, was that not what you were talking
about? Yeah, that little star in the corner.
All right, bang. I've got that. Dope.
All right.
Okay, so you have a Real ID.
So what are we freaking out about then at the airports? I don't know.
Real IDs are stupid, but no, the fucking dude, the passport thing. So Victoria and I are leaving for Copenhagen tomorrow after we review this. Or not after we post this episode.
Wait, what's in Copenhagen?
I didn't know you were going to Copenhagen.
Yeah, so I'm away next week. We have one of our friends' weddings.
I knew it was a wedding, but
Saturday.
Copenhagen. I'm like, I didn't realize they're doing a destination.
Bless you, Cam.
Nice.
Yeah. Mad weddings, and this is the one that's far away. So we decided to make a week out of it.
It's a nice place to go.
My old passport expired on like the beginning of January, like next January, 2026. But you can't fly if your passport expires within 6 months. You can't go.
What's
anymore.
the point?
That's what I'm saying.
Stupid.
It's so
have it
fucking
expire
dumb.
6 months before.
It's so fucking dumb.
That's absurd.
So I waited till
Government sucks.
It's so dumb, man. But I waited till about like 5 weeks before this trip to go and get my passport renewed. Because it says if you do expedited service, it'll take 2 to 3 weeks. So I get to the post office to mail it in, and the woman's like, expedited service, and I was like, yes. She was like, when are you traveling? I go, June 30th, and she goes, you might not get your passport in time. And I go, what do you mean? The website says expedited service is 2 to 3 weeks, and she's like, yeah, we're crazy backed up. It might be like more than 8 to 10 weeks. So for the last like 3-4 weeks, I've been bugging out. I'm like, all right, am I even going to Copenhagen? Like, I don't have a fucking passport. And it ended up coming. I have my passport. It came like a week ago, so it ended up coming in like a month. But that shit is so stupid. Like, I told the lady, I'm like, can you got to update your passport? Like, that's gonna fuck a lot of people up. And then in my head, same exact thing Cam just said. Like, if a passport expires in January, I should be able to fly until that last day.
Until that fucking last day.
It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. However,
I would actually fight people at an airport.
Yeah, it actually like really ruined my day the day I went to get this all dealt with.
Yeah, I believe it.
But then after I mailed it in to get expedited, and after I received my passport, I read that 6-month rule, there are some exemptions where certain countries are 3 months, and Denmark is one of them. So I went through like this whole hassle of getting my passport renewed, and I didn't even need to do it for this particular trip.
Interesting. Fascinating. Why?
It's
I don't
stupid,
know.
man. The U.S. Postal Service is dumb.
Yeah.
Fuck the postal service.
Most U.S. like embassies are pretty stupid in general. Like most U.S. like public government ran things are pretty
absolutely dumb. Ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Cam, how you doing, man? How was your week?
Week was all right. Week was okay. Kids are kind of being menaces, just adapting to Bailey being 3, and now he just if you let him watch TV for a day, he'll freak out the entire next. Like if you give him like an hour of TV time in a day, like the next day he'll freak out that he doesn't get that hour of TV time. So just kind of adapting to him being like a full-on toddler now. And then also Sutton is like, Sutton's kind of perfect. She just doesn't sleep at all. But like babies are so easy compared to kids. And I know people always say that, like they just get harder as they get older. But I kind of figured like once they got older, they'd be able to play by themselves. No, they just recognize that you're not playing with them. So it just exacerbates the issue. So yeah, just kind of a long week with the kiddos. But they're still good. Emma and I started going back to the gym because the YMCA that we go to has like a play and learn. So officially, like I'm officially bigger than George Carmi. So that was fine. Went to the Fever game Thursday, the Indiana Fever. No
Big
Caitlin
time
Clark.
choke, but you left early.
Yeah, I left at halftime. No Caitlin Clark playing was kind of a bummer.
Why'd you go?
It was a work event, which was lots of fun. But that's kind of my general week. Haven't watched a ton because I've been watching some TV shows. Obviously, I watched Ironheart. Want me to talk that now, or want me to talk that after in an Ironheart section?
Whenever you want.
I have very quick thoughts that I actually quite enjoy Ironheart. It's very much one of the better Marvel shows so far. It's going to be 6. I think they're only doing 2 weeks of release. So they released the first 3 episodes on Tuesday. I think they're releasing the next 3 episodes on Tuesday, and that's it. So that just kind of goes back to my point of Marvel television is kind of just trying to bury their shows. I wish they did that with other shows that they made that suck, but Ironheart is actually pretty good. The suit far and away 10 times, 50, 60 times better than what it was in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The CGI is much better, as well as just like the suit design, and no more nanotechnology, full on suit that she gets in, which is awesome. They have
Sorry, who is Ironheart again? I remember her character
Riri
from
Williams. Yeah,
no,
Riri
but like
Williams.
who? Like, is she related to someone, or is she just a?
No, she's just a very smart. I actually kind of
Okay.
like that. It's not like and she's not like a character that like looks up to Tony Stark and wants to. It's like it's one of those things that like she's obviously a genius that, you know, frankly, in the MCU, every single superhero is a genius in there.
Yeah.
You know, like Peter Parker's a genius, Reed Richards is a genius, Ironheart's or Riri Williams a genius, like, but also like Bruce Banner, Thor is a fucking genius of like other worlds and stuff, even though they make him like comedic relief. It's stupid. But yeah, she's just a MIT, very smart college student. She's like a prodigal daughter, we'll say, of like she went to college at 15 and just has all these grants and very smart. But like the whole premise is that like she's like a lot of people are trying to make Iron Man suits. Like everyone, like obviously with Tony Stark gone, like everyone, you know, every person thinks they're the next Iron Man and no one can really crack it. And she kind of has, but like I enjoy that this whole show is kind of like she doesn't have a full-on suit just yet. Like she had a suit in Wakanda Forever, which was kind of odd, but they basically like take that away pretty early on, and obviously like doesn't have the Wakandan funding for her next suit, and also like loses her MIT grants and stuff, you know, just through the shows like writing and such. So like the whole show is almost like not as dingy as like Tony Stark making in the cave, obviously, but it's like it's been 3 episodes and she has like a suit, but it's not, you know, the full on final suit. So I like that they're giving her the origin of like you actually see her like working on the suit and putting different pieces together, and stuff like that. They have the one thing that I don't love, but it's like it plays into the character, but basically her like Jarvis and her Friday, they're doing like that it's an AI projection. So while it's in the suit, that the suit can like project it. So it's like her old best friend is like the voice of the AI, but like then you also see her old best friend like walking around. I don't love that just because like I don't know. Yeah,
that's dark.
Yeah, it's like it's a big part of her character. Obviously, like her old best friend who passed away, was killed in a drive-by shooting. Is very much a part of like her character art of like getting over that and everything. And I understand that whole choice. Just technology wise, I don't entirely care for the fact that like she's just able to make this person basically come back as themselves basically and just like walk around the room because the Iron Man or Ironheart suit is projecting it in the room. Like, you know, I don't necessarily care for that. That's just like a personal, like the technology is kind of stupid in my opinion, take. But yeah, I really like Riri Williams. I forget who actually plays her. Give me a sec. Played by Dominique Thorne. Yeah, I think she's awesome. I feel like Marvel has never. One thing about Marvel is they've never missed on a casting. Like and I don't think they ever will. I think just the way they write their characters, like most people are able to get into that role. So I think that's really good. Also, cool, very fun. If you look up the Ironheart cast, there's a big spoiler just right there that hasn't been revealed in the show yet. So that's pretty sick. I personally, no, I knew that one already. Just because like I look up all these things, what doesn't matter, but yeah, it's just main cast, the top 6 people, a person that hasn't even been introduced yet with a character that hasn't been introduced yet. So that's cool. Pretty sick, Google. Anthony Ramos is fine. I actually like him in this compared to, I feel like some things I don't really love him in this. He's kind of like more of an asshole. And I think he plays it well. And then who's the other big actor? Alden Ehrenreich is perfectly fine. He's playing like Obadiah Stane's son. So there's your connection to Iron Man. Yeah, it's one of those that like he very clearly when they were writing Iron Man, that wasn't a thing, but they're like, his estranged son that doesn't want to be anything like him. It's fine. He's kind of fun in this. I like Alden Ehrenreich, to be honest with you. I think he's pretty charismatic, but nothing special in the show. Obviously, it's 3 episodes in. It's not perfect. They have some fun teases to like what's going on, but it's a big like technology versus magic kind of thing. And yeah, I'd say if I'm ranking the Marvel TV shows right now, I think Loki, and then maybe WandaVision, and then this so far. Like I'm really enjoying it. I don't necessarily remember. Maybe Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
No,
I like
no
that
Daredevil.
one. Oh,
Born
honestly,
Again?
Daredevil. If I were counting Born Again, I think it's got some peaks. It's probably better, but honestly, I think it's far and away the worst of the Daredevil seasons. Like I think they very clearly had an idea, scrapped said idea, couldn't scrap everything, so they introduced like there are great episodes, and then there was like, okay,
then there's the bank robbery episode.
Yeah, well, whoa. I like the bank robbery.
All right, my bad. I did.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, so I think Daredevil Born Again season 2 will be really great. Honestly, like forgot that was like a part of this universe, but yeah, it is. It's probably better, and I don't know. It's definitely better than Moon Knight. Definitely better than What If, in my opinion, George. I know you're a fan of at least season 1. Definitely better than trying to think. I think it's better than Hawkeye. Yeah, it's a good show. I like it. I'm by no, and I actually enjoy how they're releasing it. I wish they did it with other or shows that they've done. Like I'm cool with 2 weeks and we're done. But again, I think that goes back to they're just burying these characters because I think they're trying to reposition their TV stance. Yeah, not a bad show by any means. I'm excited for the next 3 episodes, and I think that's really all you can ask of me for a show that I wasn't like super pumped for to begin with. But I've enjoyed it. Also, honestly, if you haven't watched the show and you like comment any negative thing about like how this is unnecessary and like stupid and Marvel's gone woke, just shut up. Like this show is of course getting absurdly like review bombed, and it just makes me feel like bad. Of like I feel like I can't say the show's perfectly fine without like having to like put myself on the other side of like, no, I'm not with these weirdos that are review bombing. Like a 3.5, it's got a 3.5 on IMDb. I think before it even released on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score was like a 25%. Like it's just really frustrating and sad to see. So just don't be like that. If you're a listener of Real Talk, just don't be like that. Please. Yeah. Fine show. And then also watched The Bear this week. So got through all 10 episodes. Probably do a review on it. Maybe. I don't know. Good show. I love The Bear, man. I really love The Bear. I don't know if you guys want to talk it at all, but the season is kind of like season 3 that people don't love as much. But I think it's got so many like character moments and fun times and just emotional moments between people. Like it works so well for me, and I love every character. So like they could do anything with all of these characters, and I just love it because I love them all so much, and I feel like they've done so well at developing these characters. And that's kind of the whole point of the show, is that they're just so character driven. Sometimes people get mad that it's not like as story driven, and I think this has like enough story as well as over characterization, but it works so well. I really love it. We can maybe talk spoilers next week once y'all get through it, but just a great atmosphere to be in, like these closed quarters and this like communication between the group, as they're like all assholes but they love each other so much. It's just it works so well for me, man. I'm a big fan. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say, but
I'm only four episodes in. I mean, I love this show. I've been saying since like season 2 that I think this is the best show on television. And I do mean that. I
think it's
as much as I love like Severance, I'm still taking The Bear over it. As much as I love like, Invincible and The Boys and X-Men 97. I'm still taking the bear. I love the bear. I've always loved the bear so much. I love Jeremy Allen White in this role. I love Io Adebri in this role. I love the entire supporting cast in this role. Every time John Bernthal shows up, the biggest smile comes over my. Yeah, I cry and I smile, and I absolutely love it. And yeah, it's just so character driven, which I adore. And I think there are just so many beautiful moments. Just hiding in chaos and anxiety, which I also love. I think I said this after like season 3, but it's very much a show about mental health, and they show that chaos within a kitchen, and I love that. I just absolutely love it. But
episode 7, I believe, is the wedding.
Is it the
episode.
Hour one?
It's the wedding episode. I forget how long it is. Really great episode though. Like really.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's the hour.
I was looking
long.
at the runtime.
It's the one that everyone is saying the best.
Yeah,
I think it's the one that everyone is saying is the best.
Okay.
So yeah, it is.
Once I saw the really runtimes, I was like, that's the one, because all the runtimes are like 30, 30, 30, 30, 68 minutes. So I was like, okay, that's the Fishes episode of season 4. So I'm excited for that. I went back and rewatched season 3, episode 1. That's one of the best episodes of television.
I don't remember it. That's the one that's like just an hour and he's like alone in the kitchen, right? Or something. I forget exactly.
It's like, dude, the episode's a fucking music video, pretty much. It's literally just a music video. It's just all vibes. Yeah. It's all vibes. It's crazy.
But it's like, it's not an hour long. I mean, like it's over an hour, right? Or
I don't know how long it is. I don't think there's no way that episode's an hour. And if it's an hour, then it flies by.
It's 36 minutes. Like the episode itself, I'm saying, like, I feel like, or is it over like a day period or something? It's over like an hour period.
You're asking literally in time.
In the show. It's like
maybe.
Well, I don't know. But yeah, it's like a music video. I remember it now a little bit. But I gotta go back. I rewatched like Carmi's speech in the first season. I rewatched like Fishes. I rewatched
Forks is so good.
Shit, what's the episode with Richie at the
Forks?
Yeah, rewatch Forks. Like so good.
Fishes and Forks. One of the best back-to-back episodes of television ever.
Great run.
Straight from which one comes first? Forks comes first or Fishes comes first? I don't know.
No, I thought it's Forks and Fishes.
Yeah, but I'm excited to finish. I'm annoyed that I wasn't able to finish. So when did it drop? Wednesday. It dropped Wednesday. We killed 4 we watched all 4 episodes on Wednesday, and then Thursday is when I saw F1, so I didn't watch anymore. And then Friday night we had friends stay over into Saturday, so we didn't watch Friday night. And then last night I saw Megan, and we had a late screening of Megan, so we got home and kind of just went straight to bed. So I might download the remaining 6 episodes for my flight tomorrow.
I've got a take that that you can tell me if you hate or not. Like I see a lot of people say like each season, like not enough happens. Like season 3 is them getting their first like big review. Season 4 is kind of the outcome of that. The 2 months of like making it back after that kind of, or trying to make it back after that. And so people are like, this isn't like not enough is going on. I have a take that every year we get 10 episodes of this show and maybe they progress like halfway through what you want. But every other show we get, it takes 2 years to get less episodes and they progress the same amount in those 2 years.
Yeah.
So there's my take. It's the same amount of time between and you get the same amount of arc. But this, we just get more episodes and more character development. So that's my take of the day. Keep doing it every hour or every year.
Yeah.
Once
a year, 10 episodes. I completely agree. I also think The Bear is just like, it's like The Bear is so rooted in like, that's such a real show. And like, I feel like people want like high paced energy, nonstop storytelling to happen when like, that's not necessarily how real life works. Like if they made a TV show about me, there wouldn't be half as much story going on.
I'd be sitting on my couch a lot.
Exactly. And like this, you also have to remember the Bear, like between seasons 1 and seasons 4, how much time has passed in the universe? Like a year,
2
maybe
years.
2 years? That's not a lot of time. And like the whole focus in that time period within the show is getting this restaurant going. Carmi's trying to figure his life out. Io's trying to figure her life out. And it's like, I don't know. I always like, I don't love reading criticisms where it's like, where's the story? What's going on? And I'm like, are we watching the same show? Like,
yeah,
this is one of the most real shows out there. And it's like, how like alive do you think your life is where like the bear comes off as like a lack of storytelling?
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the bear so much. I wish I could watch more. And actually, now that I mentioned it, I'm gonna download some episodes for the flight. But
other than that, I watched Jurassic Park, one of the best movies ever. I watched Wildflower. That's what Emma wanted to watch when she said she wanted to watch something about family that would make her cry. Didn't make her cry, and she said it was good, or she said it was perfect for what she wanted. It wasn't good, and so I was like, great. Then I tried watching After Sun the next night, like sitting on the couch. Like while she was there, hoping she would get into it. And then basically she went to bed 45 minutes in. I watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers this week, a movie from my childhood that I absolutely adore. I got roasted for saying it's a 2.5 or 2 out of 5 stars. Just simply a cheesy, goofy, not good movie. If you don't lie to me. But like it holds a lot of meaning to me as a child. And for some reason this week I've seen so many like clips.
Wait, are people complaining that 2 stars is too high or too low?
Too low, like saying it's too low. Like, and I don't know what you want from me. Like, I'm not gonna lie and be like, yeah, this is a great movie.
Yeah, that
like,
shit was sick.
Goofy ass movie
that was like when I watched Night at the Museum for the first time like a couple months ago, and I gave it like a 2.5. People are like, George, man, come on, this is way higher than a 2.5.
Come on.
I'm like, okay. If I watched it when I was 8 and held on to it since, maybe, but watching that for the first time as a 28-year-old, not a 2.5, not a higher rated movie.
Yeah, and even the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that I watched a million times as a kid, and I do hold like close. I haven't seen it in like 15 years. It's not one of those that like I'm absolutely all in, ride or dying. I fucking loved it as a kid, but did you ever watch Dino Force? Banger Power Rangers series. So someone comment if they're a Dino Force defender. I watched F1, which I'm learning that is called F1 the movie as I look at my Letterboxd reading. And then I watched also Upstream Color, which will be our Patreon review this week. Had to buy it on YouTube. I'm sick of these. Patreon, recommend some streaming movies, please. Sick of these buy on YouTube movies or rent on YouTube movies. That's about it. Yeah. It was a fine week and got some watches in. George, to you.
Nice. Yeah, my week was pretty fine, kind of uneventful, I guess. We did so Sophie and I went to the Screen Unseen on Tuesday, and it ended up being the Jurassic World Rebirth movie. Which is funny because when we were watching it in Screen Unseen, the premiere was going on right across the street. I don't have motion anymore, so I don't get invited to those things. But it was funny. We like the premiere screening and our screening got let out at the same time. So Alex and Liam were there. So we kind of like went to say hi to them. They were inside the barrier on the red carpet. We were outside the barrier, just as fans observing Alex and Liam. So that was funny, but we watched Jurassic World Rebirth. That was the first Screen Unseen that I've ever been to. So I guess that's a good first one to go to. I remember there was one that I was supposed to go to like a couple months ago and that ended up being like Abigail. But first Screen Unseen, good experience. The brothers will talk Jurassic World Rebirth next week. Unfortunately, I will not be on the pod next week. Like I said, I'm going to Copenhagen today, technically, when this episode drops, or tomorrow when we're recording. But I leave for Copenhagen on Monday. We got a friend's wedding next Saturday. So we decided to make a week out of it. So, look out for some fun Copenhagen content, maybe. But other than that, that's kind of been the week. Like I said, we had friends stay over. Friday night into Saturday. They had an engagement party in New York City, so they stayed with us. We got dinner Friday night, and then Saturday we took them like through the park, went walking, went to a diner, all that good stuff. But other than that, I got to start doing what Tyler did last week, where he like wrote down what he did all week, because I always feel like I'm forgetting shit. But that was kind of the week. It was kind of like an uneventful week of just like getting ready for Copenhagen. Did some shopping, did a little bit of packing. I got to finish packing after we record this episode. Hitting some lifts, trying to get wedding ready, because once we get back from Copenhagen, that's like the home stretch to our wedding, because we come back from Copenhagen on July 7th, and then our wedding is July 26th. So, 19 days later, and then the ReelTok boys come in on July 20th. So wedding stuff really starts the day the ReelTok boys come in, which I'm very excited for. Got to talk to them, finalize that itinerary. They're flying in on Sunday. Monday will probably be just like a fun Long Island day, Airbnb, diner. I'll take them to the state park that's near us, and then maybe go to the yacht club and take out the boat with them. Tuesday will be their city day. I texted them yesterday. I just finalized a nice little dinner for all of us, plus like Sophie and Alex and my sisters, and a couple of other friends. That'll be Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, they'll kind of be on their own. And then Friday is wedding stuff, and Saturday is wedding stuff. So I'm excited for them to come. So that content will absolutely be fun. I'm so excited, and now I'm just talking by myself because no one's here. But I'm very excited for mainly Cam, but everyone to experience Lincoln Square's AMC, their IMAX theater, because we're watching Fantastic Four in that theater on Thursday night when they're here. So I'm very excited I'm excited for all of them to obviously experience that screen, but I'm excited for Cam because we are watching Fantastic Four, and I guess if there's one movie coming out, or I would say Superman, I would rather Cam watch on the IMAX screen, but I'm excited for him to watch Fantastic Four on that screen. Other than that, I've watched nothing actually this week. I've only watched 3 new releases, and that was Jurassic World Rebirth, F1, which we'll talk about in a bit, and Megan, which I will talk about in like a minute. But other than Megan, I've been watching The Bear, like I've said. I'm only 4 episodes in, so maybe I'll download the remainder of The Bear for the flight tomorrow. And then Love Island. Whew, we are in like the back half of the season. This shit is getting spicy, man. There are twists and turns. There are some cinematic moments in this TV show that makes me think it's not real. Like, I don't believe that this is reality. I think it's scripted. Like, there's no way certain things are happening. Like, it's too cinematic, oh my God. Spoilers for Love Island season 7. Okay. Spoilers for Love Island season 7, USA. There was that episode where Nick got voted off. I was tearing. I was crying. I was actually crying. This dude got voted off. He's an OG member, so he was here from day one. Like, he wasn't a bombshell. He was here from day one. He is good friends with everyone on the cast, and he got voted off because the bombshells didn't vote for him or whatever. And then as he's leaving, he's like dapping people up. Everyone's crying. They have Louis Capaldi's Before You Go playing in the background. I'm sitting on my couch, literally like tears running down my face. Like, it's too cinematic. Like, it's not real. I don't think it's real. I think this show is partially scripted. But it's a good show. It's a great show. I don't know what I'm going to do in Copenhagen because you can't watch Peacock not in the United States of America. So I got to get a VPN so I'm not like 7 episodes behind. But yeah, that's all I've been watching. I'm going to do Megan real quick. It is going to be fairly quick. So hopefully in that time, Cam returns. But I saw Megan 2.0 last night with Victoria. Victoria did not fuck with it. I think she slept for like the last 20 minutes of the movie. She absolutely didn't fuck with it. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. I'm a Megan defender. These are stupid, absolutely domeless movies. They're so nonsensical, but like in a way that's just like fun. It really is. Like, I hate I hate when people are like so bad it's good, but like that really is just what Megan is. I think both of these movies, like they're just so bad they're good. I think Megan 2.0 is better than Megan 1.0 or Megan 1. I think it's just like it leads into the absurdity a little more. It's a bit more charming. Megan's a bit sassier and funnier. The whole like movie is a bit funnier. It is so incoherent, like to the point of being like nauseating. The first Megan is like really like just a horror comedy through and through. Megan 1 is a horror comedy. Megan 2 is a horror comedy, spy thriller, action film. There was a point in this movie where Megan was dressed up and she looked like Lava Girl. And it goes into, there's literally like a 5-minute dance sequence. It's so all over the place, but like in a way that was just so funny, you know, like it was so like any other movie that's this bloated and this tonally stupid, I'd be shitting on all day. But like, I don't go into a Megan film expecting anything good. All I wanted was some fun, some laughs, some hilarious, line reads. I wanted a sassy Megan. I wanted some good action. They're slightly leaning into like the more like Megan 1 was PG-13 that kind of leaned PG. Megan 2 is PG-13 that kind of leans R. Like there are more like there's more like the movie's not frightening, but like there are more frightening moments, I guess. There's certainly more gore. It's still very tame. It's very timid. It really does like embrace the PG-13 rating because like it doesn't really go like above and beyond. But my biggest criticism of Megan 1 is that like not giving it an R rating and trying to make it accessible and family friendly for all, it didn't work. It doesn't work in Megan 2, but I could at least like be like, okay, at least they're trying. Okay, we're headed in the right direction. There's obviously be more Megan movies. I'm going to spoil it. Doesn't matter. Spoiler tags are on for Megan 2. But like Megan survives this film. So like there is like a little tease at the end, not like a post-credit scene. It's literally just like the last 5 minutes of the movie where like Megan pops up on the woman's computer screen in the form of like a little Bitmoji, and she's like, "Oh, you thought you got rid of me?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck yeah, Megan 3.0 incoming," which is fun. But yeah, it's so campy, it's so stupid, but it's so much fun. Like my theater was I swear, Victoria was the only one in my theater not having a good time. She was the only one not enjoying that experience. So yeah, it's messy. The horror is diluted, whatever. There are too many genres trying to collaborate and it never works. But it's like it's fun. Like it's a ton of fun. It's so campy. It is a very self-aware horror movie. There are over the top set pieces. And if I can give like one actual like genuine praise to this movie, there are certain action sequences where like the camera is moving in like a way where I'm like, oh, that's like a cool creative decision that I don't think I would have ever expected from a Megan movie. And it was cool. There's the one like very final fight between Megan and Amelia, who's like the bad android or bad AI. It's a cool little last fight scene, and you kind of you feel for Megan. Like this movie like really dives into like your relationship like with Megan, because obviously in the first one you don't fuck with Megan. She's killing dogs. But this one she comes back to help everyone, to protect them from Amelia, who's the even worse AI entity. So it's cool. It's cool. Like they help you build your relationship with Megan. You like Megan. You're rooting for Megan. You're rooting for a relationship with everyone. It's cool how she's introduced in this movie, where like the main characters think she's been gone, when in reality she's been lurking in the house, hiding, plotting, planning. She has like a shitty body that she's been hiding until someone can make her a new one. It's cool. It's cool, but it's stupid. I hate to like criticize the way people criticize film. If you're going into a Megan film and you're expecting like this thematically rich take on AI, you're stupid. Okay. Megan is not the movie that's going to do that. So if I'm like, again, I'm not trying to criticize the way people criticize films, but I hate reading these letterbox reviews where it's like, oh, what a stupid take, what a stupid look at AI. Like the biggest AI in good hands better than AI in bad hands. Like, why are you going into a Megan movie expecting some rich themes and some, profound writing? Like, this is a Megan movie. I promise you, this is not the movie that's gonna enlighten you in the way of AI. It's not. It's going to entertain you, and it's going to give you some stupid writing. But yeah, I mean, great, good shit, good stuff. Really fun. Really, really fun. Bad movie, but fun movie. And I hate to be that guy, but it really is just like so bad it's good. Megan is so sassy. Dude, she jumps off a cliff at one point. There's this hilarious shot at the end where she has to break into like this building to stop the bad AI. And the entire scene starts with her on top of a mountain, just standing overlooking the building. And then she just jumps and like does the squirrel, whatever it's called, the parachute thing. It's not a parachute. It's like the glider. And it's fucking sick. It's cool. Like, Megan's cool. I don't know what to tell you. It's cool. It's cool. It's hilarious. It's silly. It's baffling in so many moments. But it's entertaining, and I was entertained, and can't wait for Megan 3. But I'll wrap up Megan there. I didn't even give it a rating. I just slapped a heart on it. I didn't really give a fuck to rate this film. I'm really turning into the person I hate the most, unfortunately, with the lack of ratings on certain films. But PSA, if you comment on my Letterboxd reviews, why aren't you rating this? What's the point of having Letterboxd? Please rate this. I'm gonna block you. And I've blocked a good chunk of people so far on Letterboxd for commenting that shit. Don't worry about how I handle my Letterboxd. It's my Letterboxd. I'll rate movies I want to rate, and I'll rate a majority of the movies I watch going forward. But there are certain films like Megan that I don't think care to slap a rating on. But yeah, that's Megan 2.0, and I can't wait for Megan 3.0 in a year maybe. Let's get the Megan cinematic universe in full throttle. But we could start with F1. We'll start without Cam. I'm sure he'll be here in a sec, but we could start with our spoiler-free thoughts. Bad podcasting. Sorry, I did not have the synopsis open. F1. The latest Joe Kosinski movie, his follow-up to Top Gun, his highly successful and all-time great Top Gun Maverick, starring Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Javier Bardem, Kerry Condon. Those are kind of the main four, and then you got like Tobias Menzies, Kim Bodnia, Sarah Niles. Racing legend Sonny Hayes is coaxed. What is that word?
Coaxed
out of retirement to lead a struggling Formula One team and mentor a young hotshot driver while chasing one more chance at glory. Tyler, we'll start with you. I know you just watched it last night. Bit nervous for your thoughts. Your tweets don't really get me enticed.
Yeah, I was kind of a F1 hater from the beginning. I feel like I remember when the first trailer released, like at least a year ago, it was like live on the pod when it happened. And I remember I was immediately kind of out on it from the first trailer, and every trailer since then has made me less excited. And yeah, I wanted to sleep on it before giving it a rating because I didn't want to be too reactionary, but I didn't have a great time with F1. I tweeted, I think it's a cinematic equivalent of a theme park ride, which I think is true, because a theme park ride can be a whole lot of fun and a great time if you're like in the mood for a theme park ride. But this was just like a bunch of bells and whistles and nothing really, no meat behind it. And again, like you can go into this movie just for like the racing elements of it, which is fine. And like, that's okay. Like I wasn't expecting a beautifully written movie. I mean, it was written by Aaron Kruger, who has written nothing but pretty awful scripts, in my opinion. Like Top Gun Maverick is a good movie. That's his best movie he's written, but like Transformers Age of Extinction, all the Transformers movies are fun too, but like you're never like, yeah, that's written very well. Scream 3, one of my least favorite Screams, the Ring remake, like just not a screenwriter that I think is anything exceptional. I think this is the same problem here. And again, if you want to have a theme park ride experience where you get to see like The visuals are pretty good. I think the Top Gun Maverick visuals are way better, but the sound design in this is really what you go to the theater for. But this movie is just like 2.5 hours long, like ridiculously long for something that I think is just a gimmick, because I think the sound design is the only reason to go. I think this is absolutely worth the theater experience, because I can't imagine wanting to watch this at home. Cinematography, again, cool, but 28 years later came out last week. Sorry. So like that was way more cool than me. And we'll get into this business when we talk about spoilers, but the script felt like AI generated, in the sense that like every single trope from a sports film ever is just thrown in here. It's like, and they throw in a romance that like I didn't buy into for a second. They throw in a villain that I didn't buy into for a second. They throw in a rivalry between two drivers that I didn't buy into for a second. And it's kind of crazy that this movie's 2.5 hours long, yet like every single one of the characters I felt like was so thin, like they never gave enough time for me to care about them. But again, like the racing scenes are cool. I think the final 30 minutes, especially where it's like pretty much just fully racing for that entire time, is awesome. Everything else kind of stinks. And yeah, I don't know. I'm bummed. Like I haven't reviewed it yet, but I think it's probably gonna be like a 2.5 or 3 at tops. Like I don't know where I'm gonna land on it, just because I just was so bored by the end of it, because it's way too long. Like this should not have been 2.5 hours. And in terms of F1, like I am not an F1 fan, but I'm not like F1 clueless. Like I watch probably a couple races a year. I could name probably 8 of the drivers. I know enough to be dangerous, but so it's not like a completely foreign sport to me. Like I definitely am relatively in tune with the F1 world, but I know I've seen people in that super diehard F1 fans say this movie stinks because it's super unrealistic. But I've also seen a lot of F1 fans say they knew what they were getting into. Like they knew it was just going to be like a fun, dramatized, Hollywoodized version of the sport, and they still had fun with it. It's fun to see like all the F1 actual drivers be like the actual like people in this movie that he's racing up against. But they don't really get much other than just like they're in the background of a lot of shots. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just very mixed on it. Like I think the sound design is great. Yeah. But like, I still think Warfare dumps on it in terms of sound design. Do I think cinematography is cool? Yeah. But I think it's not even the best cinematography of the back half of June to be released in theaters. So like, I don't know. I don't know where to give it. And
that's a hilarious way to put it.
Propaganda I'm not buying into, that Hans Zimmer ever touched this movie. I'm just not buying into it. Like it's
what? The score was so good.
It was fine. And maybe you're watching a lot of Love Island, but this is like
you're bugging.
Nah, the score was fine.
You're bugging.
It's like Hans Zimmer just like phoned it in, but you don't even get much.
You got the looks like a movie propaganda in your ear, man. That's
what, do they not like it or something?
Good score.
Nah, they're just anti Hans Zimmer.
I mean, yeah, I wish it was a more Hans Zimmer score, I guess, because I feel like all I remember is the pop music. I don't remember any of the score really, except from a few racing scenes. But yeah, Brad Pitt also just really phoning his work in here.
Yeah, that I'll agree with.
And yeah, I'll end it there. Like again, there's stuff like we'll talk in spoilers, but I just think this is just like every horrible trope of a sports movie thrown into one. And I know sports is always a rough genre to make movies about, because I don't think there's a single sport you can make like consistently look good cinematically. No. And unfortunately, like I feel like racing, like I don't know, it's just like I'm making a racing movie, and then like in the mind of the screenplay writer, every time is like gonna need some crashes. Like it's just where you go every time. It's like, man, it's the same thing every time. And
no, sorry. Finish your review, and then I was
just gonna say I know a lot of things that they pulled, like specific incidents between teammates and between rivals in this, like were actual F1 events from previous seasons. So it's kind of like a nod to a lot of like diehard F1 fans. But it's kind of like when you see, I don't know, it's like each season has like 2 or 3 headlines that are like moments or things that are like crazy awesome in them. And this kind of takes like 2 decades worth and puts them all in one. So when you put it like back to back to back to back like that, it's just a little crazy. But again, it's a theme park ride. If you want to see some fun racing, go do it. But I get more exhilaration personally out of just like watching an F1 race, because at least I don't have to watch Brad Pitt try to riz up Kerry Condon and watch these billionaires duel. And like, I don't know. We'll talk about it. I feel like so many tropes have been in like these movies, like just dozens of times. Like the villain in this movie is so ridiculous.
So funny.
Villain,
So okay,
whatever,
wait.
yeah.
Sorry, but I know as a host I should not go next, but I'm gonna go next. The funny, like, I don't disagree with you on pretty much anything you said except for the Hans Zimmer stuff. But like, this movie was so hilariously domeless. Like, I was laughing my way through this movie. Like, there were so many like overly inspirational line drops that had me cracking up. Like at the end where the person's like, we don't have the car, and Javier Bardem's like, no, we have the driver. I'm sitting there, I'm chuckling, but I'm like, let's fucking go. Yeah, you got the driver, you got Sonny Hayes. Like, I'm gonna watch this movie a million times when it comes out on
It's
demand.
the Joe Kaczynski effect on you. You just get addicted.
Dude, I like, he knows how to direct something that I'm just gonna want to continue to come back to. And
wasn't Spiderhead the first event you ever got invited to? Maybe they put something in your drink then, and the joke.
I didn't even like Spiderhead. Yeah, I didn't even like Spiderhead. But yeah, I'm like, Joe Kaczynski just knows how to direct shit, and I love it. I loved, dude, seeing this in IMAX on that big screen. Like, this is like, to me, a true old-fashioned summer blockbuster. You know, it's so much fun. It has just like everything I want, you know, these massive, awesome racing set pieces. It's got like this fun little feud between the drivers. It's got this stupid little romance I don't particularly care for. It's got these hilarious, over-the-top, inspirational moments, dude. The scene when Damson Idris is running on the track with all of his crew, and they stop and the camera turns around and Sonny's just walking down like, that's so fucking funny in the best way possible. So I really, like, I had such a good time with this movie. But again, like, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. Like, I think it looks fantastic. I think 28 years later probably looks better. I do love Claudio Mirando. He did do Top Gun Maverick. He's done other beautiful looking films. I think he did Tron Legacy. He did The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. So like, he has a lot of history, and he's a very good DP. The sound design came from Gareth John, who did work on Dune Part 2. It also came from Alan Nelson, who's done like Top Gun Maverick, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So like, it's a very experienced crew and a very experienced like group of collaborators. And then obviously you have Hans Zimmer and Joe Kaczynski, who have worked together before, and it's awesome. It's a really, like, I love this group of creatives. I love Joe Kaczynski's eye just from the very first scene, man. The Daytona 500, and there's fireworks going on in the background. Like, it's so much fun. It really is just like this really hilarious, high spectacle summer blockbuster. And if there's one movie out right now that I would urge everyone to see in theaters, I'm telling you F1. I'm not telling you fucking 28 years later. I'm not telling you Megan. I'm not telling you Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm going to tell you F1. That's like, for me right now, that is just like the movie to see in theaters. And I loved it. I do, to an extent, think Brad Pitt is phoning it in. I'm not going to go as far as saying he like derails the movie for me the way some people have, but like, you're looking at Brad Pitt, and you're looking at the man that just recently won an Oscar for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, also has recent phenomenal performances in Babylon and Ad Astra, and obviously has that history of Snatch, Fight Club, Seven, Moneyball, and he's just like this fantastic actor. So by his standards, yeah, I don't think it's anything fantastic. I don't agree with people saying he derails the movie for me. I actually think he's quite charming in places. I don't care for his romance with Kerry Condon. It was very apparent from the start that they were going to try to explore that. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm feeling this from the start. I love Kerry Condon. It's a beautiful woman. I love Brad Pitt. It's a beautiful man. So whatever, give me a romance between them. It wasn't the strongest romance, but it's nothing that's going to like ruin this experience for me. But no, I had such a blast, man. I really did. I had such a great time. I think the movie looks great. Like I said, I think it sounds great, obviously. And I do think there are just some hilariously over the top inspirational moments that just had me geeking, dude. Absolutely geeking. So yeah, I really enjoyed F1. I really, really did. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a rewatch. I mean, one, I know I'm for sure gonna rewatch it the second it comes on demand, because I know Victoria is gonna want to watch it. She didn't come watch that movie with me. But I could see myself rewatching this like anytime I just want to throw something on and just kind of be like entertained in a very like nonsensical and like domeless kind of way. I love Damson Idris. He's like a big shout out. I will agree with people where like I don't think his character has enough to do, but he is such a cool screen presence. And I did post that video saying like I think this kind of elevated him to like near the top of like my James Bond fan casts. Javier Bardem's fine. He's kind of phoning it in, honestly, but he's good. Javier Bardem phoning it in is still better than a majority of people working in Hollywood today. And then Kerry Condon's fantastic as always. So I really enjoyed this, man. I love this experience. It was so much fun. It was so hilarious. Cam, you can take it away with your spoiler-free thoughts.
What'd you give it, Tyler? Sorry, I was late because I was
I'm between a
cream
2.5 and a
cheesing
3.
Oh, that's awful. That's terrible.
Yeah, I know.
Fun.
But no, again,
Fun.
everything George said, I agree with too. To where it's like that's why I call it theme park ride, because like if you're in the mood for that, you could love it. And I'm not even saying
I think
that
that's not giving it enough credit. I don't think calling it a theme park ride is giving it enough credit, though. I think this is a high intensity, very fun time at the movies. It's kind of what you go to the movies for. This is what you want to see in IMAX. You want to see these spectacles, and you want to have a good time. I understand where you're coming from. I don't know if that's given it enough credit, because there's a lot of good moments and great shots in this movie of the racing. It's like Top Gun Maverick on whatever takes you down from steroids. Like Top Gun Maverick is this on steroids.
Yeah.
Like,
it's Top Gun Maverick with just a less intriguing script.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think, but man, the racing scenes are like
so sick,
intense and awesome, like so cool to watch. Let me tell you one great thing about this movie that I've already noticed. All-time TikTok edit movie, man. I've seen a million edits of this thing just with like the different engine sounds and like the fire coming out of the back of the car and the just Brad Pitt throwing out the like, oh, the last time I won a race was the same time you did, or whatever he says. All-time TikTok edit movie, man. This thing's gonna go double platinum in that.
That line's a perfect example of just the corniness of this movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love
just such a fun time. I can't say much more. It's just such a fun time. The score is great. I don't know where you're coming from there. The score is great, but they do cut in like tons of like music into this thing.
You got like Ed Sheeran. You got plenty of needle drops.
I didn't love, but I didn't hate by any means.
To me, it just cheapens the movie a bit when it's like something you hear on like the pop radio stations, like in the movie.
Yeah, like they're throwing anything in here to get like the average viewer to go see it. And let me tell you, I don't know the slightest thing about F1. I've never watched a race. I have no intention of watching a race after this. I'm not a race fan in general, but unless like I was at the race. Yeah, not a racist. Unless I was at the race. I have no reason to like watch F1 to be honest with you. I was very didn't know like the team. I'll be honest. When they started this movie with like Brad Pitt about to like race and like his team was racing, like I didn't realize there was like a 24-hour thing. No clue what was going on there until I looked it up. I thought like, oh, F1 has like teams that like they race like half the laps and like it's like a track event. But apparently that wasn't F1 because I just didn't get that. I still don't know what like that sport is, like the difference. But that's just me being ignorant to the racing world.
Sports and movie there. It's always like, because like I watch like, and I'm not gonna shit on challengers. I'm just saying it's the first example that came to mind. But like when I watch like tennis movies, I'm so nitpicky about like the tennis in these movies, and like to like. You know, an untrained eye, the tennis and challengers probably looked great, but it's terrible. So I texted one of my good friends after this movie. She watched F1 and she's the biggest F1 fan ever. She's on TikTok actually. She does F1 partnerships. She's interviewed like all the racers. She's watches every weight race every weekend. She's as dialed into F1 as I am to tennis. So this was her critique of the movie. Beautifully shot, and the racing felt super realistic and well done. But there were the details were so unrealistic that it took me out of it. The constant crashing, technical things, the nuances of the regulations. Basically, what I care about most was so hand wavy, and I wasn't able to take myself out of that mindset. But she also did say, but it's also fictional, so I did enjoy the movie, but I wasn't able to like immerse myself the way I wanted.
Yeah. I think that's simply just they're not making the movie for one person. Like they have to like get it's just if you ever want like a perfect racing movie that everything's not like saying anything's wrong with like that opinion. And if you're super into something, I get that. But like they're not making the movie.
Yeah, but like to me, I don't watch F1. Like I watch F1 every so often because my sister's boyfriend is a massive F1 fan. So like when I'm with him, I'll watch it, or if like there's a big race, I'll watch. So like to me, and I would consider my eye very untrained when it comes to F1, I was loving the racing stuff. Like even the constant crashing, I was like, this is sick. Like this is like a good form of like cinematic sports where it's like, it's not so bad it's taking me out of the film the way like the tennis in Challengers, the tennis in the movie Wimbledon does. But it's still like, I can tell it's a little like embellished for film.
Yeah. And I see what you're saying. I think like, I don't know, from everything I saw, the racing was fun. That's sick. That's what I'm going off here.
The split screen of the two drivers,
that's
got
incredible
me horny.
Stuff.
Yeah,
that's incredible stuff. I think it's a really amazing time at the movies. Like this is the movie that like your coworkers are gonna go see. The people that don't see a ton of movies a year are gonna go see. And I hope it does well, because I genuinely think, that's a great part of going to the cinema, going to the theater, of like watching these really fun times and having a great time with the people around you. I think it's the most like intense time in the theater. Like obviously, yeah, a crash is going to happen, but I think they do it in a really great way. Because I didn't fully know. Maybe they kill the Damson Idris character, and then like, sorry, that was a spoiler, but they know. Maybe
does not
they do.
die in the movie.
He does not die in the movie.
No, he does not die in the movie, is what I'm saying. Like, but you're watching it. Maybe they do. Maybe they do something. They kill someone else. I don't know. But I think it's worth like, it's a intense moment that works, I think, on screen. If you've bought into this, if you haven't, sure. It's not going to work, but I don't know. I had a great time at the theater with it. The Carrie Condon, Brad Pitt romance doesn't work. I don't think anyone's going to say it does. Brad Pitt, I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's awful. Of the main characters in this movie, Carrie Condon, stand out. Damson Idris, stand out. Javier Bardem, fine, good. Brad Pitt, worse than all of them.
You know what? You know who is great in this movie, and you know who this movie knew how to use?
Shea Wiggum.
Yeah, he's 24th in the cast. That's how you use Shea Wiggum.
Shea Wiggum.
Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning needs to take notes, because Shea Wiggum always should be 24th build in your cast.
Yeah, and he did it, and he did amazing. Like I'll be honest, I was watching this thing. I'm like, after his scene, or after a scene with him, I'm like, man, it would be cool if like Shea Wiggum were that character, and then they go back to him. I'm like, oh shit, it is Shea Wiggum. They nailed it. They got him. Like I didn't realize it was him at first. He looks the exact same, but he's a chameleon on screen. He could be anyone. So shout out Shea Wiggum for his moment in this movie. What did he like tell Sonny something after they win? Like, oh, I forget what he says, but he's like, I'll take my prize. Take my prize money or whatever. I don't know. But shout out Shea Wiggum. Very, very classic 5 minutes of screen time, as he deserves.
Not to move the conversation in a weird direction, but I'm looking at Joe Kosinski's filmography. Do you guys know he's making a Miami Vice film?
Feel like we've talked that.
Yeah, well, I know. I didn't know he was the guy to be making it. I forgot that, I guess. But I know that we've talked, I feel like, recently about the new Miami Vice film that's being made. It
says Untitled Miami Vice film, directed by Joseph Kosinski.
Damn.
Universal Pictures.
a movie overflowing with sex being directed by a very sexless director. Because I don't think anyone bought it. I hated, like, my least favorite part of Top Gun Maverick was the Tom Cruise Jennifer Connelly romance.
Oh no, that was a good
that's
romance.
way better than this. That's a good.
It's better than this, but poop's better than puke. I don't know.
Stop.
much
Boo.
That's true. I think
Poop is better.
I think poop's the worst thing.
I'd rather throw up.
I guess you had some baby blowouts probably, so
Yeah,
it's different.
I'm more accustomed to.
Should we get into spoilers?
Yeah, how do we want to do this? Do we literally? It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. Do we want to run scene by scene, or are there just any big moments that you guys want to
maybe race by race?
Yeah, race by race. I want to absolutely start with that. The 24 hours of Daytona, because I thought that was such an awesome like introduction to Sonny Hayes. Like, he's sleeping in his van. Guy Shea Wiggum, it was Shea Wiggum that comes over and is like, "Yo, we need you." And I'm like, "What do you mean you need him? Like, what race is going on right now?" And then you hear in the announcements the Daytona, the 24 hours of Daytona, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, this dude's about to drive for hours. And then they literally said, like, just get us through the night. And it was cool. Like, he gets out of his van, just this cool introduction. It's like a back shot of him walking, and then he just takes off in the car. And I was like, all right, that's a battered man right there. And then after the race, he wins the race. He pretty much wins the race for his team, takes his money, and leaves. And I love that intro. It's a great intro into his character. I do think Brad Pitt can like nail like that cool guy energy. Obviously, he's always been doing that his entire career, so I think that stuff works. But then even like the spectacle of 24 hours of Daytona, just to intro your film, this fucking fireworks everywhere. It's just racing Daytona, just going around this track. It was so sick. It was a fantastic introduction to like a true summer blockbuster. Just this first scene, just massive in production, and I absolutely love that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the fireworks look great. The opening scene is fun. Again, like, you get the classic sports kind of comeback story of like this guy who gambling is his vice in this movie. He's basically kind of like Cliff Booth, and he's just living in this little like van. Probably more similar to Leo in that movie, actually. Just like, and he even has a crash out scene later that's supposed to be reminiscent of like Leo's crash out scene in the trailer. But yeah, it's like Sonny Hayes, this dude who's just like broke and basically keeps going job to job to keep making money, to be able to, he's like banned from casinos and stuff. And it's like, he's just pulled out of retirement to race in this. And then that's where Javier Bardem's kind of like, "Hey, yo, come join my team." But yeah, Brad Pitt at this point is like a 60-year-old journeyman of going from kind of racing style to racing style. And F1's one he hasn't really conquered. So cool way to open up the movie, thrust you right into it. I
love when movies like tell you like, okay, here's an experienced character, here's an experienced guy, here's someone who's really good at his craft, and then they show you just how good he is. Like, the first time he goes to like Javier Bardem's team, he races that car, he crashes the car, he gets out of the car, and he's talking to Kerry Condon, the technician. He's like, "This is what's wrong with it." And he's like throwing out these technical terms, and she immediately looks at like Damson Idris, and she's like, "That's what I want from you." And I love when movies like do that with their characters. They tell you, and then they show you just how good this dude is at what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I don't know racing. I don't know F1. I know old people driving. You can't convince me he's still driving at this rate. You just can't. I'm sorry. Brad Pitt, I don't care how old he is. I don't care how young he is. Brad Pitt, 60 years old. He ain't driving at this whip. I would take the man on the track and just obliterate him. This guy is getting toast. He's burnt toast. He's probably not turning on turn signals. Like, I'm sorry. I love the like old veteran coming back, but like, that was a little bit. And of course, for a movie, I'll believe it, but like, just one of those things where I'm like, 60, man, you're washed.
So Brad Pitt is 61 years old, and just for some context, the oldest F1 driver ever was 58, but that was in 1950. Okay. That was in 1958. So modern day.
The best. So he's going like 35.
This year 2043 is the oldest ever, but usually it's like 30. You're kind of like, you're done. But the oldest ever in like modern day racing is like a 43-year-old F1 driver. So he's a full adult age.
You're going like, you're going like whatever the G's are. Like, you're getting whipped in this thing like you're all the way back. You're going 200 something miles an hour. Like, I'm sorry, your head's coming off. Like you're
I mean,
you're good,
they show it at the beginning of the movie. He was doing his neck exercises, leaning off the bed like that. He was still
I
training.
guess,
still,
yeah. I guess, but I just
I mean,
60's a little old. I feel like we could have made him like 45 to 50.
Right, because
area.
he's still good
Like,
looking. He can be a
make Brad
believable
Pitt
age
that
or
age.
anything.
Yeah, exactly. You can make Brad Pitt that age, or you get a different actor, maybe who doesn't phone it in as much, but still, like,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
And I agree.
So
I don't
that
think
was
he
an old
derailed the movie at all, like George was saying. But I was legitimately thinking about our actors tier list during the movie, and I know he was like, we talked about between A and S. We ended up landing in A, and as I was watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, thank God we didn't put him in S, because this is not an S tier guy. He doesn't bring it every time, and this is, again, he doesn't derail.
Okay. In fairness, Robert De Niro has like Dirty Grandpa in his filmography. He's not bringing it every time.
Yeah, but do the thing is, do you ever expect going into Dirty Grandpa? That I go into F1 expecting Brad Pitt's going to be doing a Tom Cruise and
I went into
De Niro in the
Killers of
Irishman
the Flower Moon. I went into Killers of the Flower Moon thinking De Niro would be good. He's butt.
Damn, we've already raked you over the coals for that take. You don't need to keep dying on that hill. But I mean, from where the movie goes out of the Daytona is like basically the central. Well, I wasn't gonna say central conflict. There's like 8 conflicts in this movie, but Brad Pitt getting kind of coaxed, as we learned in the synopsis, George. Yeah, Javier Bardem is basically the manager of an F1 team, and they are very much struggling financially. They need to get some finishes in order to like make money, because they basically get like a 3-year window where if they don't make any race earnings in 3 years, then the owner of the team is able to put the team up for sale, and Javier Bardem will be out of a job. So he needs to make this work. Otherwise he's going to lose like his dream job and the career he's worked so hard for. So he goes to Brad Pitt to be the guy, and he gets accepted very easily into the team, which again, we just talked about like a 60-year-old driver. That's a little crazy, but then you kind of realize later in the movie, and we are in spoilers at this point, that the owner of the team wanted Brad Pitt on the team because he was like, oh, he's going to lose for us and make it easy to kind of get this team up for sale, get it off my hands and make some money here. So they were kind of hoping he was going to fail, and the wily veteran, not going to be that easy for him. He's going to come and give his A game. But so basically the conflict here is Javier Bardem wants Brad Pitt to steer this team. You have Damson Idris on the team. F1 is teams of usually, I believe, 2 drivers, and there's different brands. There's like Ferrari, Mercedes, and then this one's Apex is their team. And Damson Idris is like this young driver with a lot of potential, but they kind of bring in Brad Pitt, hoping him he could be that veteran to coach. Damson Idris will also hopefully bring some fire into the team, bring some viewership, bring some buzz. But then again, the owner is kind of hoping he fails the whole time. So that's kind of where we then go for the next part of the movie. That's where we meet Kerry Condon, who's like the race engineer, who very early on you can tell like, oh yeah, they're going to make a romance here with Brad Pitt.
She's great in this, by the way. She's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she gets the most to work with, but I think that for what she gets, she's great. I mean, she's definitely like a caricature of a character, unfortunately, because like they give her like a line where she's like, I don't do romances in season, and then like 30 seconds later they're just making out in the hotel room. Like, oh, okay.
It's a romance.
Yeah. Okay.
She's got some standout sequences. I love that first scene of like her and Sonny Hayes in the diner, and that just gives her like that opportunity to just like blow up on him. And then I absolutely loved that poker game, man. Literally, I shit you not,
the poker game was fun.
Yeah, the second Damson Idris' character walks into the bar and sees Sonny Hayes singing at the bar, I was like, oh, this is a setup. Like they're there for each other. They're not there to meet anyone else one-on-one. It's them and Kerry Condon. And then they pull out the deck of cards and the poker, and I'm like, this is about to get awesome. Like I just love a good poker scene in film, and I love like in that poker scene, like they just progress. Damson and Sonny, they just progressively just like show a little bit more respect for one another while also still kind of being like those hard-headed assholes that they are. And I love Kerry Condon in that scene, just kind of driving that conversation for both of them.
This isn't a critique at all, but people always talk about like sports being unrealistic in movies. I feel like the most unrealistic thing in movies that
poker
players of the game gotta be poker. Every time there's poker in a movie, it's always the third best possible hand you could have in that deck versus the second best possible hand. And at the end, someone flips it up. It's like the 1 in 1 million best possible hand. It's like, it's always like that. I'm like, man, I feel like poker players got to be the ones who, because I play poker with my friends, and like 90% of the pots is like oh shit, I got ace high. I won this because of ace high, and you got nothing. It's like, but every time in a movie, it's always like the craziest cards ever. It's like, got your ass, haha.
This was a little more tame, at least. At least it was like a pair of fives and a pair of kings. It wasn't like a fucking royal. It wasn't a royal flush to a full house.
But no, that scene was really fun. And then I love how like Damson and just his character's like, fuck this, I'm going clubbing or whatever. Like, and then just leaves the two, and then that's when the romance kind of goes. But again, it's like the second Damson Idris leaves, it's like immediately Karen Condon's like, I know you're just gonna hit on me, and we're gonna get together, and we're not gonna do this thing. And then it's like, bang, they're in the hotel room together. I'm like, and then even after like they win the race at the end, I'm like, oh god, why are you going back to this stupid romance, man? But I don't know. I didn't love I feel like the relationship between Brad Pitt and Damson Idris was just confusing to me because I don't know. I feel like the thing is, I feel like this movie had so many different storylines they wanted to make work, and I feel like they just decided to keep all of them. Like, I feel like just having a race car driver come out of retirement to try and save a failing team is like enough of the story, and then you throw in like him and Damson Idris, which is like half mentor relationship, half rival relationship. You have the mom who hates him, doesn't trust him. You have Damson Idris's characters like trying to figure out how to keep his spot as a race car driver. I feel like his whole character could have gotten more fleshed out as well. I loved Carrie Condon's character as like the engineer of the team who's very passionate about her work and trying to prove everyone wrong that she's able to make it in the sport. And then you have like the whole plot of the race, the owner of the team being like, I want to sabotage the team and lose, versus Javier Bardem trying to win with Brad Pitt to save the team. I just feel like there's so much going on, and I feel like none of the stories got like enough justice for me to like care enough. And I just think the movie opens so strong with the Daytona, and it closes incredibly strong with like the 30-minute final race. And then just like the whole middle chunk to me was where it just got really messy and just dragged on a ton, which is where I really felt the 2 hour, 20-minute, 2 hour and a half runtime.
I think go. One relationship that I think really worked was like Brad Pitt and Javier Bardem. I feel like really had good chemistry together, like back and forth of friendship. And I think they worked really well together, but I think that was like the 8th most important relationship that you need to make work. And I feel like, like you mentioned, obviously the Brad Pitt, Carrie Condon we talked is an amazing, for as good as I think Damson Idris is. Him and Brad Pitt like worked well together as like this hot shot and like old geezer, like, bouncing off of each other a little bit, but I don't think they were perfect by any means. And I think it could have been a little bit better if you had some more. I think if they give a little bit more time to the two, even though they gave a lot, I think if they gave a little bit more, it would have worked. Or if you get a little bit more characterization of Damson Idris's character, it works. But I do think Brad Pitt and Javier Bardem worked really well together as like these old buddies who are working with each other really well. But like I said, it's not the most important one to get right, but I think it works well.
I was going to touch on the runtime, because for me, like, I feel like this movie actually, like, no pun intended, sped by. Like, I didn't feel that.
I didn't feel 2.5 hours or whatever.
No, not at all. Like, there's so much going on in this movie, and whether that's positive or a negative to you, that's fine. But there is a lot going on with like every character, romances, the villain, old relationships, blah, blah, blah. But I think there's so much in this movie where like it's just constantly moving. You go from Daytona to his first meeting with Javier, to his test lap, to the first race, to the Damson Idris's car accident in the rain, to the injury timeout, and Sonny Hayes like climbing the leaderboard while Damson Idris's character is out. You have the romance, then you go to like the poker game and the final set. Like, there's just so much going on where like the movie is just constantly moving. Like, I didn't feel like there was any moment where I was like, okay, this is slowing down. This didn't need to be in the movie. Like, let's speed it up. Even like the slower moments, like after Sonny and Kate have sex, and then Sonny's on the balcony and Kate comes out and they're talking. Excuse me. And they're talking about like Sonny and his history and blah, blah, blah. Like, even slow moments like that, I'm like, okay, like this works. Like, it works in the context of this film, and it's not like slowing down this movie. So for a 2 hour and 45-minute movie, or 2 hour and 40-minute or 35-minute, however fucking long it is, I actually think it moves pretty well. Like, it really is just non-stop. Like, for a racing movie that's 2 hours and 45 minutes, we're on the track a good chunk of time. Like, they're really leaning into like the whole F1 racing aspect of this film. Like, it moves.
Yeah, I wonder if I don't know if they're planning a sequel or to make more of these. I mean, obviously, it seemed like Sonny Hayes' character is kind of done. Like the movie ends with him going to try Baja racing, which is like dirt dune buggies. But like,
so jokes.
I don't think there's enough with Baja to make a movie out of. So I feel like if they go for another F1 movie, it'd be like Damson Idris or hopefully like not following Brad Pitt's character and they continue with whatever. But it really depends. It's just one of those things that I feel like if this movie makes a shit ton of money, they're going to make another one. If not, then they might just keep it there. But I mean, Top Gun Maverick, I feel like was supposed to be the end of Top Gun, but then it made so much money that now they're going to be making a third. So I'm sure the similar thing will happen here with F1 that we'll see how this does and they might make another one. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things you and Cam like about it is like what I struggle with, which is why it makes sense that our ratings are where they are, that you two tend to like it more. And again, like I'm not trying to be condescending when I say it's like to me, it was like a theme park ride of movie. Like I'm saying that as like a very much like, if you go into this wanting like a fun racing movie, I think that's exactly what you're going to get. And to me, I was just never that excited for a racing movie. So I was hoping to be kind of pleasantly surprised. I do think a lot of it is just like reheating Top Gun Maverick's nachos. Like if you just like structurally put the two movies side by side, like Top Gun Maverick starts with Tom Cruise getting in a plane crash. And then starting from after that plane crash, he's kind of looking to reinvent himself, finds a group of younglings and kind of mentors them along. And then there's a big final climax sequence between his main mentee and him. Very similar to this, like Brad Pitt, has the Daytona at the beginning, kind of needs to reinvent himself, meets a bunch of people who are great but inexperienced, kind of coaches them up and leaves the movie with kind of just riding off into the sunset, pretty much literally in Top Gun Maverick, but in this one figuratively of him just saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, that's just like always, I feel like a movie trope as well, just like oh, you just won the championship, what are you gonna do now? He's like, I got some other things I want to try and do now rather than
that
continue this going.
I was cracking up at the end, like in a good positive way. Like this dude just wins his first Formula One race. Formula One, F1. He's the best driver in the world. Dips out in his van and goes to some beach to race dune buggies that's the funniest way.
Just likes the high speed.
Yeah, it's so like it's so in character for Sonny Hayes, and I thought that was so fucking funny. Like that's just an unbelievable way to end your film. Like this dude had no forward progress. You know what I thought of? Sydney has a list on Letterboxd, movies where the main character doesn't change, and that's the point. F1 needs to be on that list because from the beginning of this movie to the end, he goes through so much shit and he's the same person at the very end. And I fucking love that. Dude just goes to the sand. Guys like, we don't pay much. He's like, it's not about the money. Like, I'm just an adrenaline junkie. I just want to race whatever the fuck I can for an easy $50. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just here to have fun. Like, such a funny fucking ending, man.
I don't know if you guys, did you guys talk the crash at all in spoilers or anything?
No, go for it.
No.
Yeah, so obviously there's a big crash in the movie. Like Tyler said, it's a racing movie. There's going to be a big crash, right? You get it in Ferrari, you get it in F1, you get it in fucking
Gran
Turismo. Yeah, you get it in every racing movie. It's gonna happen. I think what works for this one is like the crash is fucking insane. First off, like the car goes flying and then just lights on fire and all that jazz. It's insane. But I also think it works. Like it's not, I appreciate that it's not the only crash in this movie. There's like 5 crashes in this movie, like between these two characters. You get like in one race, they crash together. It's not that bad. You get the Damson Idris crash. That's obviously like really bad. You get the Sonny Hayes crash. That's pretty bad. You get Sonny Hayes like crashing when he's fucking, none of these racers can race is what I'm finding. Cause they're always crashing. But you get the Brad Pitt crash when he's time trialing. Like I appreciate that they do a decent amount of crashes. So it's not like full on tropey of like, oh, there's one big one and that's going to change the arc of everything. And I also appreciate that like after the crash, Damson Idris, it's not, right away that he's like, oh, damn, sorry, or we're best friends, or it feels like it takes a little bit of time after that, and they still have to mend some fences, but I think that works for it a little bit. And then I like how they use the crash at the end to kind of like Sonny wasn't going to win without a crash. Like he's still kind of washed, but he ultimately does get that win because it's it's a movie. But I appreciate that
after sacrificing himself though. He sacrificed his position.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like gives up to let I just keep calling him Jameson Idris. What's his name?
I forgot. Joshua Pierce. I can't say I remember. I mean, I know Pierce was shown, but I don't remember them ever saying Josh or Joshua in the movie once.
No, that's fair. I appreciate that. Like that's how they kind of ended, and also like in Draft Day, they which is a shit movie, but like they make it so like all of the NFL teams like win at the end. I appreciate that Lewis Hamilton was a producer on this thing, and he's like, well, we're gonna tie at the end, or some crazy thing like that.
I'm gonna win every race before you get that one at the end.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I appreciate that. It felt very realistic to me. Again, that's outside looking in. Not a F1 fan. Again, George mentioned like his F1 friend, not a fan as much. And maybe if you're a big F1 fan, you're not a fan as much. But I think outside looking in, it really, I think it seems realistic and it works for me.
I love in like the final race when I can't remember which racer it was who he runs off the track, but he like runs someone off the track in a very aggressive way, and they like have to review it to see if it's a penalty or not. Love just like the complete caricature of this villain, just like around all of his rich friends who are like owners of the team. He's like, well, I mean, like objectively, that's a penalty. Like obviously, like I don't want that to happen. Like it was like a cartoony, like Pixar type of villain thing to be like around the whole team, be like, yeah, obviously we're screwed here, but I mean, like I don't want to be, but like we should be penalized for that, right? Like we should be disqualified, like hopefully, but not actually. He was just such a silly guy, man. Like such an unnecessary conflict to throw in at the 2/3 mark of the movie. To all of a sudden him be like, yeah, I wanted you all along because I thought you sucked, and I'm going to pay you all this money if you suck more, and then I'll like let you get the keys to the kingdom. Which I mean, like it's just like nothing, and to like gamble your whole like life fortune on that, like nothing about Brad Pitt's character would ever make you think he would like be down for that, because he's always I mean, I guess maybe his gambling debts, but he's clearly always just been this journeyman who wouldn't be interested in like being like a coach or a manager of like the lead guy of a team.
I think I thought the complete opposite, where I was like, if this were more of like a realistic movie and I were Sonny Hayes and someone offered me that, I'm saying yes almost immediately. Like that's guaranteed salary, that's a guaranteed job.
I don't give a shit about guaranteed salary. He's 60 years old living in a trailer, so
it's like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Leo, where like you can get the guaranteed money of Italian spaghetti westerns, but Leo's like, that's a washed thing. I want to be the guy, and Brad Pitt's like, I don't want to be a manager of a team. I want to be racing the cars.
The team,
I guess.
Yeah.
But again, I know all my nitpicks are like super annoying, and it's just very much not a movie for me at the end of the day. And I knew ever since the first trailer I wasn't going to be a big fan of this, and unfortunately, it just didn't do enough to sell me. I think there's a lot to enjoy about this movie, but I would say if you're like at all interested in seeing F1, definitely go see it in theaters. I think, even though I think people will still enjoy it at home, I think the best experience you will ever have with this will be the theatrical experience. So definitely catch it in the theater, IMAX if you can.
From like the first scene, I was like, okay, this is a must-watch theater experience. Like it really is just like that type of movie. But all right, anything else we want to say about F1? I think that wraps us up. I go 4 stars. Cam, I didn't see you log
78 out of 100.
78 out of 100. So 4 stars for Cam, and then Tyler 5 stars. 2.5 from Tyler.
A nice corny "We Will Rock You" deal drop too, and then even better at the very end when they do like the subtle like muted muffle like boom boom. And I was like, and like reverb slow, and I'm like, this is silly, man.
This is what I'm saying. Like what you said earlier about basically being like, this is like if Joe Kosinski went to ChatGPT and said, write me a cliche. Like it really is, but it's so fucking fun and it works.
Which that's out of the Top Gun playbook too, because that like what's that electric guitar song? They play that like 7 times. In
it comes
movie.
Up. And I love it, man.
Joe Kosinski is a big fan of that. Like, because he's like, "We will rock you," and a needle drop it twice in this movie.
Joe Kosinski makes movies and is like, "I'm gonna make movies for the theater, and that's it." It's a theater experience movie. I'm gonna give them the most like applaudable, accessible film you could watch, and I love that. I fucking love it. Joe Kosinski, keep doing your shit, man, and keep making movies. You're on a heater right now. But that'll wrap up our movie reviews, Megan and F1. Let's have some comment bait. So if you are still listening to this episode, drop down below your ratings for F1 and
I have
Megan.
one.
Yeah, do it.
I have one. Sorry to cut you off. I was thinking about this last night. Leave a comment of your link your Letterboxd review in there, and we'll go in and look at those, maybe, and reply to a couple. But leave your Letterboxd review so that like other people can go look at it and follow in the comments and stuff, and maybe make some friendships in the comments through movies.
Dude, my F1 review. Speaking of Letterboxd, my F1 review. I wrote this right out of the theater, cooking on an edible. I wrote vroom vroom, all caps, fireworks. Super unserious review. Someone commented, "This is the worst review of all time. All love."
All love.
Doesn't really seem like all love, but I mean, he said it was.
All love at all, but like, what?
They said it was, so it's got to be all love.
It's 3 words, and 2 of them are repeated.
That's all love, man.
Someone in the comments can fact check me on this, but is this the first weekend in movie theater history where we had 2 big studio movies released that both have numbers in the title that are not like meaning a sequel, like a second or a third movie? We have F1 and Mithrigan. I feel like this has to be the first time ever we get 2.
Technically, Mithrigan was a sequel, but yes,
but it uses the 3 and the Megan, not just the 2.0.
I mean, I'm gonna give you that it is. I have no idea the correlation. I'm gonna give you the yes.
We have a 1, 2, and 3 in numbers in theaters right now, and Fantastic Four coming next.
Wow.
What's the 5?
Wow.
What's coming up? We need a 5 movie. I think we had the 4.
Bad.
Wait, is this the 5th Jurassic World movie? No, it's the 4th Jurassic World movie.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Nice try.
Big, unfortunately. But all right, let's move on. We got some big shit to talk about. So I'm sorry, I just completely blanked. I'm trying to decide. Let's do trailers first quickly, and then we'll get to the big news. So we got the new Fantastic Four trailer. I texted you guys. I think that trailer actually like lessened my excitement for the movie.
Yeah,
I did not. I know. I think I am dumb. I didn't love the trailer. I even watched it. It came up before F1, so I saw it on the biggest screen possible, and I'm still very excited for this movie. I'm very excited, Cam, when you were away before and I was talking, I said I'm very excited to watch Fantastic Four on the big screen with you. But yeah, the trailer didn't do much for me. Do you guys have any thoughts?
Look like a daycare.
I hope, man. I hope. We got the new trailer for Weapons, which I'm very excited. I can't imagine you two are going to watch that movie.
No, I'm but you're
going to watch it.
Fuck, dude. Dude just stabbing his face.
The trailer made me not want to watch it. So now we're on the fence. Now we're on the fence.
One of the gnarliest trailers of all time. Like, so much stuff in that. I was like, I didn't know they could just be like showing this on TV stations.
It was such a drastic change from like the first teaser to this current trailer. Like the first teaser makes it seem like a long legs type film where it's like very like, I guess like very meditative, very methodical, very slow burn. This recent trailer is like, oh shit, this is really coming from the mind of the dude that made Barbarian. Like this is gonna be fucked. Like literally the fucking stabbing the fork in the cheek, like that was disgusting, man.
And then see it.
No, please watch it. Please watch it.
Comes out August.
It looks really good, so that intrigues me. But it looks scary.
Have you seen Barbarian, Cam?
Yeah, Barbarian's fine. Barbarian's good enough.
So we keep talking about like all 4 of us being at Lincoln Square together, and Victoria, she's here listening to this episode, and she just texted me. She goes, "Also, I feel like y'all are going to be celebs at Lincoln Square when you're all together there," which is funny because Sophie and my friend Rob said the same thing. Like they're like, "How many people do you expect to recognize all 4 of you guys together?" And I think the answer is a lot.
I hope not.
I think you're in. This. You're gonna have yes. You're gonna. I hope we take so many pictures. Not to sound like a dick. Like I know we're not famous people, but I really do think we're gonna. If we're all 4 together, I think we're gonna be recognized a lot. Because like when I'm there, I usually have like a hoodie on or a hat, so I'm like kind of just like head down to the theater. All four of us, I think we're gonna get recognized a good chunk, and I'm pretty excited for it.
Let's just all wear our tuxedos that we're wearing.
Say hi to Seth, Tyler, and George. I'll wear that.
Yeah, we're gonna
wear,
pull
I
up to
guess.
Fantastic Four in all tuxedos. What else? We got the first look and first trailer for the latest Yorgos Lanthimos film, Begonia, starring Emma Stone.
Bologna.
What?
It just looks like it's spelled like bologna.
Oh, like bologna.
That's
the film follows two conspiracy-obsessed men who kidnap a major CEO, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying Earth. Crazy synopsis. The trailer looks good. The trailer was great. We are coming off of Kinds of Kindness, and that wasn't like a fan favorite for me personally. I didn't really love that too much. But then his prior film was Poor Things, which I really did like. So Yorgos for me is very all over the place. Like I don't love like The Lobster. He's just very all over the place for me. I don't love him. I don't hate him. But this did get me very excited. I'm very excited for this one. I love the synopsis. I really like the trailer. I really like seeing more of Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone alongside each other. I think they're just really cool together. But you guys got any thoughts on that one?
We need more Green Day needle drops and trailers. When that sold everything for me here in Basket Case. It was like, yeah. But I'm so in. Yorgos is cool because he's all over the place in terms of he's done like the Poor Things. He's done the Favorites of the world where they're period pieces. Yeah. And he also does contemporary films where we're using iPhones and we have like this looks very much set same time as Kinds of Kindness in terms of very much modern day.
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons, like I was trying to think when I tweeted it, like a kind of reactionarily, but is this his first like leading role? Like, is this his first, like Jesse Plemons is the first billed actor in the movie?
Was he leading in Kinds of Kindness? No, I never saw it.
No, because that was like an anthology of like three. He was like kind of in the one, like he was only in like the second part, but so I wouldn't say he was the lead. No, I feel like this has to be the only time.
I'm sure he's got one. He's got to have something, right?
Because what is?
I'm thinking of Ending Things. Wrong, maybe I guess is probably the only one.
Yeah, but he's second building that movie.
But actually.
Yeah, him and Jesse Buckley. Yeah, I'm thinking of Anything might be his.
Yeah, but that's still a Netflix movie that barely anyone has seen. This is like going to be a theatrical release. So shout out to Jesse Plemons. He deserves this. Emma Stone. It's like
he's not highly billed, but he's pretty bit. The like Windfall movie that's not very good.
Yeah, but like Jason Segel is the one.
But it was like movie. That was like a.
But it was all three-person
leading. Yeah, so he wasn't the main. Lead.
This will definitely be like the biggest thing he's led because it's
going to be the biggest
theatrical film with Yorgos and Emma Stone. Emma Stone and Yorgos they collaborating 24/7 now, but it's like he kind of gets the best performances out of her or like really great stuff out of her. But I mean, she's still going to be in Eddington coming out soon too, so she's still doing like non-Yorgos projects. But, like this movie looks great to me. I'm excited for it. Hoping to not be let down by it, but I don't think I will because even Kinds of Kindness was like a miss for me, but I still liked it. Like I still give it like a 3.
Emma Stone, I don't say this in like a bad way, but she'll just never not have the funniest filmography to me. Ever.
Yeah, I mean she's had very clear, distinct eras of her career.
Yeah, it's like Superbad, Easy A, Crazy Stupid Love, and then she gets into like Spider-Man, and then she gets into like Oscar-winning La La Land, Oscar-nominated Poor Things, Kinds of Kindness, The Favorite. Yeah, she's had 3 very distinct eras in her acting career. That was it on the trailers. Now we get into the big movie news, massive movie news of the week. First and foremost, we got the poster for The Odyssey and the tagline, Defy the Gods. I woke up to that yesterday morning. Let me tell you something. I woke up to that. I didn't know if it was real. Okay.
I always wait till like a reliable source posts it because I saw it as like a
I saw his lights
the poster.
Yeah. And then I saw that Lights Camera Barstool posted it, and I was like, I still don't think it's real. So then I was Googling it, and I saw like Variety wrote something about it, and I was like, okay, it is real. So unbelievable drop. It wasn't. I don't even think it was supposed to be released. I think they just hung the poster up in a theater, and someone took a picture of it, and then someone else like rendered it for digital on like the internet. So yeah, it literally something as small as a minimalist poster with a 3-line tagline is going to make me really horny for the Odyssey. Okay. I am so, it is my most anticipated movie.
I can't wait to read like Spark Notes of the Odyssey and then start making like theory videos on what happens.
Please do.
I think this is going to happen and just like spoil the entire movie.
I'm so fucking excited, man. I can't believe, Tyler, you posted that story and you wrote like 380 something days. And I was like, damn, like that's such a long fucking.
Really? I was kind of thinking, I'm like, damn, we're already like a year away. Like, I feel like we're talking about like the cast and the announcement. Now we're like a year away.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels
flying.
Like, yeah, time is flying. So hopefully next summer comes along. Really,
dude, we still have like 2 years to the Batman.
Yeah, true. So speaking of which, that's the next bit of news. The Batman, we got that awesome little teaser photo of Matt Reeves and someone else.
The Batman
who I thought,
Part 2.
Yeah, I thought it was Greg Fraser for a bit, but it was not Greg Fraser. But yeah, the Batman Part 2 is done with the script. I don't know what that means, whether or not the script needs to be like approved or go through rewrites. But
I think this means it's been like it's confirmed. Like I think they've got the script now. Is my guess. I could be obviously wrong, but like James Gunn's talked about it. He's like, we're just waiting on the script from Matt Reeves to get it going. I think this teaser was like, okay, the script's good. We're ready. Yeah. Like I don't think he's gonna be like, okay, we need another year because I have a million rewrites. You know, like I think this is like, all right, here's the script. Let's go.
But, yeah, exciting. Literally now with the Batman, literally any bit of news that is positive is going to be a good day. So that was exciting. Obviously, we still got to wait till 2027. That sucks.
Late 2027. October
late
1st.
2027. So it's
over 2 years away.
2.5 years away, which sucks. Pattinson's booked and busy because he's going to be shooting the Batman and Dune Messiah, I think either simultaneously or just back to back.
Yeah.
I imagine
like Dune Messiah starts filming like at end of July, maybe August time, and then Batman starts filming January.
I mean, listen, this
is like the reported news.
This whole week was just prime time to be a film, bro, and I'm very happy about that. What great news! Then we have,
you don't have it written down, so I don't know if you have it, but we also got the shit. What's the movie? The Ryan Gosling Project Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Oh, that's not there. Yeah, Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary. We
Project
poster
Hail Mary.
For that. I think
trailer comes out today for people listening on Monday.
Yeah, like today. Yeah,
drops
Monday.
Yeah, that's very exciting. My notes.
Batman. I saw someone tweet, which again, love or hate James Gunn. I know he's a very polarizing man. I saw someone that's low key probably true. They said like if James Gunn wasn't CEO of DC Studios, like if it was still just like fully run by Zaslav and Warner Brothers, Batman 2 very likely could have just been canned at this point because they would have not been willing to wait as long as maybe James Gunn was willing to wait for Matt Reeves to get a script done. Whereas I feel like Zaslav would have been like, we're canning Batman 2 after like, I don't know, 2 years ago at that point. He probably would have been like, oh, you guys clearly have no clue what you're doing here. We're canning.
When did we get the first teaser for the Batman? Like when it looked like the gun, it was like people claimed that the guns were like the bat symbol, like that killed his parents or something.
It was at San Diego Comic-Con, right? In like 2021. I remember that day so clearly because my younger sister had all of her college friends over my house, and it was the first time I met her boyfriend, but they weren't dating at the time, and we immediately bonded over the Batman. And that night, that trailer was released, so we all gathered around the TV. Yeah, it was right after college.
We got like the 20. I think we got the trailer in 2020, but we got the logo August 20th, 2020 is when we got the first logo. So then it took 2 years to get the movie. Now 5 years to get the second movie. I'm gonna shoot myself in the head.
But again, like what's crazy is like, what was there 4 or 5 years between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi?
I wasn't alive then, so I didn't care.
I know you didn't live through it.
Now I care.
This isn't like now. Okay, you were alive for The Dark Knight to The Dark Knight Rises. That was 4.5 years.
I was 8. I was 8 to 12.
Speaking of the Batman, the original Dark Knight trilogy, I was looking at Christopher Nolan's filmography the other day. It is so insane to do like
that they gave
he had a
him.
movie in between each. He did Batman Begins and then The Prestige and then The Dark Knight and then Inception. And then The Dark Knight Rises and then Interstellar. Like that's insane. That's just ridiculous.
Like good run.
Dude, that's why he's the fucking GOAT.
I didn't see The Dark Knight in theaters because my mom thought it was too dark. I didn't see The Dark Knight probably until The Dark Knight Rises came out.
Yeah,
when I was 12.
I saw Dark Knight in theaters. I mean, obviously I'm a little older than you, but yeah, that was insane. Love that shit. Next up, confirmed, the next director for the next James Bond film is my GOAT, or my top 2 GOAT, Denis Villeneuve.
Is that what the Return of the King is?
No, Return of the King is something else. Are we being dead ass? Oh my God, that's Denis.
Cool. Okay, cool. I'm trying to decipher.
No, but I said this last week. Denis would never be my top choice for a Bond film. I think we all said this, where it's like, let's like remove him from like franchises. But I think it is confirmed that he's only signed on for one film right now. And if that film is successful, which it will be, he'll come back for a second. So I'm very excited. We could jump into just the following news of like who Amazon wants to target as James Bond. They gave their short list, which is Jacob Elordi, Tom Holland, and Harris Dickinson. So obviously they're going for a younger James Bond. I think if I were to rank these 3, I'd go Harris Dickinson, Tom Holland, Jacob Elordi. I think that's my ranking. I don't like any of these 3. Let me make that very clear. I don't want any of these 3 to be the next James Bond. If it's not a no-name actor, I want it to be either Aaron Taylor Johnson or Damson Idris. But I don't like this short list, and I hope that this was just a recommendation and not a requirement.
Well, it still says it's like their wish list. It doesn't say like that's the final 3 or anything.
Yeah, but, it is their wish list.
They said they're not going to cast James Bond until after they see the script finished. So I was thinking like Denis. Well, actually, Denis, I don't think is writing it. I don't know. I don't think so. I think someone else is writing it. But you could just like write in the script, just have like people make like racist remarks to James Bond, like to try to like force it to be like not one of these white boys. Let's do someone else. Let's like, or like make like if you want someone like Dev Patel with great hair, just like make subtle things in the script. Be like, look, we need someone with like a nice flow. Like Tom Holland doesn't have that. We got to go with Dev Patel or something. Like it's like the 3. I was very excited to see Denis Villeneuve. I get it. People don't want more. They want something more whimsical for Bond, but I feel like when Matt Reeves' Batman came out, I feel like the Dark Knight trilogy was very dark and gritty. Then Snyder's Batman was like even darker, even grittier. So I can see people saying like, oh, I want the next Batman to be something a little more fresh, but Matt Reeves is still very dark and gritty as well. So it's like, and I love that. And it's great. So it's like, you know, it's not something different, but I don't know if that's the worst thing in the world. I trust Denis Villeneuve fully. I think we all are in agreement that we were a lot less excited for this new Bond project once we saw what the top 3 desires of actors would be.
Yeah.
Even though I think all of them are great in their own respects, I think they're all great actors, period. I love all 3 of them as actors. As Bond, I just don't see for any of them at all. No, I really don't.
Why do we need a super established actor? Why?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm looking at Daniel Craig's.
He was a nobody
before. And like he's got like I think the most popular that I know is Munich from Steven Spielberg, and then maybe like Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Apparently he was in that one. I'll be honest, I haven't seen it. The Angelina Jolie.
No one movie. Saw it.
But like I don't know. None of these are like big movies that I'm like, oh damn, that's a name. And then he gets Casino Royale, and then he's got a bunch after that. But honestly, he wasn't really that guy until like Spectre or Skyfall came out. Sorry, like now he's got a bunch of different movies where I feel like he's a big actor. Guy. But like, why do we need? I love a franchise. I love slop. I love it. But why do we need a big name actor? Make someone a big name actor. Yeah. Like make the next Bond. Build the next Bond. Like even Damson Idris, who just had F1. So obviously, like that's a big movie. It's like one of the most expensive movies ever. But like. Still, he's not walking around, everyone knows him kind of thing.
Don't ever not call Damson Idris a household name on TikTok because people will shred you for not watching Snowfall because apparently that's a very big show that I've literally never heard of until like a month ago.
Looking it up right now.
It's just a disaster to have like Spider-Man because people just see Tom Holland is always going to be Spider-Man in people's eyes, especially because he's he's got somewhat of a baby face where like he still looks the same relatively, like he hasn't like grown much. He's not like more grizzled. So you don't want a theater goer to be like, oh, Spider-Man is James Bond now. And same thing
To
with
be fair,
Harris Dickinson. The same time this Bond movie is going to come out is when all these Beatles films are going to come out. So, the Beatles guy is James Bond. Like that's a disaster. This is just not right. Elvis Presley's playing Bond. Jacob Elordi. Like,
yeah, it's stupid. Snowfall has 6 seasons, so like not an unpopular show, I'd say, but it's an FX show. It looks I've never seen it, but 6 seasons, like
never, yeah,
got some motion there.
But that it could be like that On Swift Horses Apple show where like it came out like 2 years ago, but it's on like season 7. Like
that thing, I don't get that. I don't get that. Like good for them. But the idea that people aren't excited about Denny, I get it. Not everyone wants franchise slop. I get that. But like this idea that we're getting an amazing director directing more movies and we're upset about that is silly.
So sick.
I don't know which we're going.
So sick.
Just make good movies.
Just
make good movies.
Bro, I just so
also pronounce his name for me.
Who?
Pronounce that director's name for me.
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
That's exactly what I said. I made a TikTok about it. Exactly how I pronounce it. Denis Villeneuve. Villeneuve. I don't know what you want from me, but I got a ton of the most commented thing was like, why are you saying it like that, bro? It's not Dennis Villanueva. Like, just figure it out.
You did tweet that, to be fair. So
I know that was all time.
Absolutely.
I didn't mean to tweet it on my own account. I was like, screw it, I don't care. And so I just
funny.
Yeah, just let it be. But yeah, I don't understand what people are like. They're like, why are you pronouncing it like that? Like, maybe say his name right next time. I'm like, what do you want? It's how it's pronounced.
And not to jump through George's rundown, but people who say, like, you know how last week I said you can't shit on Elio, Nazi Elio, if you're like, and then like be mad that Toy Story 5 is a thing. You can't say Denis Villeneuve directing James Bond is a boring thing if you're excited for Michael Bay to be back in Transformers.
Yo, what are you talking? Don't say that.
No, I'm saying that's the return of the king.
That's the return of the king.
No, George, but I'm not saying Denis is boring for Bond. I'm saying you can't say he's boring for Bond and then say I'm excited for Michael Bay to be back in Transformers, because that is like Michael Bay. Like I loved Ambulance, that was fun, and I would love to see him do more stuff like that. I don't want to see him back in the Transformers world because like I'd like to see other Bay verse ideas.
Yeah,
but I'm still excited because like Michael Bay is awesome, and Transformers films with Michael Bay are fun. Just like Denis Villeneuve is an incredible director, and I'm excited to see him take on Bond. But anyone's like, oh, what a boring pick. And they're like, yeah, Michael Bay's back to make Transformers 7. Like, I don't know. Kind of boring.
But I think I don't know. I think it's more so like people are excited for Michael Bay, which I very much am, because like we've strayed so far from like the original aesthetic of those first 3 movies, which Tyler, I know you don't love like 2 and 3 as much as like the rest of us, but like there is a very clear aesthetic change between 1, 2, and 3.
Age of Extinction and better than 2.
You're absolutely
he directed
incorrect.
Those 2 though. Like he also directed Age of Extinction and
no, he didn't.
He didn't.
Did he? Am I going crazy? No, he didn't. Right?
No. I have to.
He might have produced a little bit.
Yeah, he did not.
He didn't direct them, right?
No.
It was directed by Michael Bay. Holy shit!
No way.
I'm learning so much.
He
didn't. He did not. I am saying this now. He did not do The Last Night, right? He didn't. I know this for a fact.
He did.
What the fuck?
Wait, yeah,
I'm learning so much right now.
You guys literally just made me think I was so insane for a second. I'm so glad.
You made me think I was insane.
You are. Like I have it in my brain that he only did the first 3. Whenever I think of Michael Bay Transformers, I think of the first 3.
Oh, okay, then forget it. I'm not excited for this anymore. I don't know why we were all. No,
I'm still excited, but this is so funny.
He literally did Age of Extinction in the last night. Then he left.
I know he didn't do the Rise of Beast. I'm not even going to look up the Rise of Beast. But
no, he did not. He did not do Rise of Beast, and he did
the original 5.
He did the Last Night right now. Is crazy.
He canonized Shia LaBeouf being dead. Like that's not like someone else came in and like made that all up. But he did the first 5. And the thing is, like, if you want to return back that aesthetic, there's still 4 Transformers films in the hopper right now. So even if he's doing 1, we're still getting. And I don't even know which one he's supposed to be doing. If he's doing the G.I. Joe crossover one that they set up at the end of Rise of Beasts, which is still hilarious.
Definitely not. I think he's got to be doing his own.
And
that's so funny though. Yeah. I did not realize he did the last 2. I could have died without that knowledge because I canonized in my own. And this is a franchise. I watch these movies very frequently, and I'm about to rewatch them. To be honest with you, I've canonized to myself in my brain that he didn't do those.
Bro, we're about to get absolutely hooped on in our comments.
I don't care.
Dude, that's actually a wild thing to realize that he did the last two. Okay.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
so confident they were different directors, but that's insane.
Yeah, now I'm not as excited anymore. I'm not.
Do you
I'm
think
not as
they can
excited.
do? Do you think they can do Optimus Prime without
Peter Cullen?
without Peter Cullen?
No, because I don't think
I'm
I
sure
think
they'll
they
use
tried.
AI. I
we
think
we
Michael
already
Bay's pro
saw
AI.
the attempt with Chris Hemsworth, and I don't think that
Which
worked
wasn't
out.
bad.
Which not bad at all,
Okay.
but not near. It's
Good
not
movie.
Peter Cullen. Very
Okay,
very
that's
good
fair.
movie actually, but it's not Peter Cullen.
ReelTok award-winning movie.
Gemma Chan
comic
played
book or
Quintessa.
animated?
I think it won both. I think it's a
Did
two-time
it win
ReelTok
both?
award
Yeah,
winner.
2-time. Yeah,
It
love
had a
that.
very weak year of comic book movies.
Yeah, absolutely love
I
that.
need to be in the brain of a casting director when they cast Isabella Merced as the girl in the second two Transformers, and they name her Isabella, and they change the name from an Isabella to Izabella. Like, I need to be in the brain of like, why not just make it is like IS? Like, what's the point?
Cooler?
Even if you had the
Isabella.
character already, if you cast the same name, just change the name. Not a big deal. But when I look at it on the old Google, I'm not a fan.
On the old Google. Yeah, so we spoke about it already, but Social Network 2, stupid, don't do that. Then we got a little more clarity on the adventures of Cliff Booth. So Brad Pitt says this is something Quentin Tarantino wrote. It's an episode, not really a sequel of a character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He didn't want to direct it at this point, so David Fincher stepped in. I don't know what it's an episode really means. Is it going to be like I understand what he means by it, but like it's a weird thing to it's going to be like a 2.5-hour feature film. But I understand what he's saying. Like it's an episode, but just a little more clarity. Not much there. And then another big news. I know we all got the package, so it's definitely worth talking about. New York Times finally completed and dropped the full top 100 movies of the 21st century, which was voted on by over 500 industry personnel from filmmakers, writers, actors, DPs, you name it. Parasite 1, Mulholland Drive 2, There Will Be Blood 3. I'm not doing the top 100, by the way, just the top 10. In the Mood for Love 4. You have Moonlight at 5, No Country for Old Men at 6, Eternal Sunshine at 7, Get Out at 8, Spirited Away at 9, and The Social Network at 10. So Spirited Away is the highest rated animated film. WALL-E was the highest ranked Pixar film. Parasite and In the Mood for Love, 2 best foreign language films in the eyes of industry personality. Wolf of Wall Street was the highest ranked Scorsese film of the 21st century. Some notable omissions. There's no La La Land and there's no Zack Snyder's Justice League. Dark Knight was the highest rated comic book movie. I think it fell to like 20 something. I forgot where it was placed exactly.
No Spider-Verse is crazy.
No Spider-Verse is crazy. There are a lot of wild omissions. La La Land, I think. Spider-Verse, I think, makes sense. But, I mean,
La La Land is pretty shocking, I feel like, for like...
La La Land is very
generic
shocking.
Hollywood. Don't read the
highest
second.
rated Wes Anderson was The Royal Tenenbaums at 21, and The Grand Budapest was right there at 22. So that was interesting. And then rounding out our top 20, we had The Wolf of Wall Street at 20, Zodiac at 19, Y Tu Mama Tambien at 18, Brokeback Mountain at 17, Crouching Tiger at 16, City of God at 15, Inglourious Bastards at 14, Children of Men at 13, Zone of Interest at 12, and Mad Max Fury Road at 11. So Zone of Interest, let me double check that I am about to say this correctly.
Most recent.
Yeah, so yeah, 20? Zone of Interest is the only one from this century in the top, from this decade in the top 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next, there's not a lot from what comes next from this decade. You don't see another Anatomy of a Fall at 26. So Zone of Interest and Anatomy of a Fall, 2 best movies according to industry personality from this decade. I mean, fine, you're polling over 500 people. It's not going to be a perfect list. I think for the most part, they have like the right movies in the top bunch. Like Social Network should be there. Parasite should be there. You know, you have like Get Out and Bastards and Eternal Sunshine, which is like expected. Moonlight expected. No Country for Old Men, There Will Be Blood expected. Bridesmaids being so high. What are we doing?
Weird,
Bit odd. Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna harp on this list too much. It's obviously like you're pulling 500 plus people. It's gonna be a wild list to begin with.
I think Parasite's a very logical.
Parasite makes very much sense. Yeah, Parasite makes the most sense. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood drops at 44. Cam, Moneyball 45, much higher than your.
Oops, sorry, I was muted. I saw that. Hell yeah, that was my hell yeah movie on the list. Like,
yeah, that was
the people of Hollywood respect Moneyball.
Almost Famous jumps in at 47. I love that it just makes an appearance. Obviously, I would have liked it higher. Before Sunset is at 49, and Boyhood is the highest rated Linklater film.
Almost Famous is a controversial inclusion because true calendar files, 21st century does not include the year 2000. So
and it did premiere in late 99 actually.
There, but yeah, technically the year 2000 is not the 21st century. So true calendar files are gonna throw a flag in that being included.
That's where they can slot in Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
literally
plug and chug.
If we're talking true comedies, then Bridesmaids. No, I lied. Where's Bridesmaids actually? Hold on.
I think Borat's higher than Bridesmaids.
Yeah,
right?
I was just looking at
Borat's great. Don't say that shit.
No, I like it, but it's crazy to be included in the top 100 of the century list.
Yeah, Bridesmaids is at 32, and Borat is further down the list. So true comedies, Bridesmaids is apparently the best, and then Borat is the second best.
Oh, really?
You got more films like Whiplash comes in at 60, Kill Bill Volume 1 at 61.
Where was Superbad? Is that on there?
Superbad was number 100. Right? It was the first one on the list.
Okay. Yeah.
Some Nolans appear in the 60s. You got Memento at 62 and Oppenheimer at 65. I mean, I know I got Nolan biased, but 65 for Oppenheimer seems really low. Like, I kind of figured that would be a little higher. I feel like, I don't know, whatever. Tar, Hurt Locker, 67, 68. I don't think there's anything in here that's like really like astonishing, you know? Like, there's nothing in here that's like, wow, how the fuck? Or, actually, I just passed one. Tyler, Anchorman, 85.
Sad.
Yeah, I know you don't fuck with that. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring is 87. No Return of the King on this list.
Shocked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I feel like they like did a one per franchise kind of thing because like there's only one before on there. Maybe not officially, but like maybe in the background did a one per franchise kind of thing.
That would make sense. Interstellar at 89, Francis Ha at 90, and then the back half you got like Michael Clayton, Minority Report, The Worst Person in the World, Black Panther at 96, Gravity 97.
How many of these did you guys see?
I didn't type all my names.
I didn't go through that.
No. I've seen like 72, 73.
I'm probably around that same area.
Need to get some watchings, but I thought I'd have more, honestly. Like 2000s on, it's where I feel like I've seen more movies. If this were like the 1990s, I'd probably see like 6 of them. But
so interesting list. I texted you guys. I tried to put together my own top 100. Absolutely impossible to rank. Yes. I tweeted it and then immediately deleted the tweet because I was immediately going back and forth on so many like ranking places and films that I like excluded. So just a damn near impossible ranking. But cool nonetheless to see it like outlined across like this is what like industry personality like consider to be the best. But that'll wrap up Real Talk episode 147. We appreciate you guys stopping in. And if you have made it this far in the episode, drop some, let's see, what Beatty comment can we leave? Drop some content recommendations for when the 4 of us are together. What do you want to see? You want to see TikTok videos? Do you want to see the boys exploring New York City? Do you want to get ready with me with all 4 of us before Fantastic Four?
Jesus Christ.
So drop what you guys want to see. We will see everyone on Thursday. We're going to do another Letterboxd profile reviews. And then we will see our patrons on Friday for a review of Upstream Color. And then next week will be Jurassic World Rebirth. I won't be on the episode, unfortunately, so you guys enjoy your time. As always, shout out to our executive producers, Mr. Stefan Niebrick, Stefan Johnson, Cody Whitney, and Cole Beaver. Should have mentioned this before. If you want your letterbox reviewed, I think we're only doing patrons right now, right? We're only reviewing patron letterboxed. So if you want to be featured in an episode like that in the future, check out the links in our bio below. And then of course, the fundraiser is still going on. I yapped about it last week, so I won't yap about it again. But if you want to hear overall thoughts, you can check out my TikTok or check out last week's ReelTok episode. But that fundraiser is still live. I will be posting an update in the middle of July and then another one in the middle of August when it wraps. To everyone that's donated already since last week's episode, we have gotten a chunk of donations, so I really appreciate everyone taking the time to donate. I've been seeing a lot of comments on my TikTok, people just commenting for engagement to help your fundraiser, so I appreciate that shit a lot. But we will see everyone on Thursday, and then patrons on Friday, and then everyone next Monday for ReelTok episode 148. Peace.